people like me.
I don't think so.
This is Jim, Matt, and Molly, presented by Coors Light on 100.5 ESPN.
We're learning a lot about each other.
It's her.
I'm the flower, it's a bird. It's kind of a roller coaster. Sports is a roller coaster.
Matt, the sports fan version of Matt is way more relatable than the sports fan version of Jim Rutledge or me. You're thinking like a radio host, which means a hardcore radio and sports person. Matt's thinking like somebody that has a job doing something else that also likes sports.
That's Matt's whole charm.
Yeah.
Broadcasting live from the Everlight Solar Studio in downtown Madison. Alongside Matt Hamilton, here's Jim Rutledge.
It is Jim, Matt, and Molly. No Molly Brown. I don't know. How long do I need to continue to say that? Because Molly Brown's going to be out 3 months. She had the twin babies. Luca, turn your microphone on.
What, are you going to just disappoint our fans every day? It's Jim, Matt, and Molly, but no Molly.
Well, in case people are tuning in, I want to let them know, at least initially, where Molly is. Maybe we could just get it in the open. Molly's out on maternity leave or something. So because if people are popping in, I don't want them to think that Molly's
in the
not
open.
a part.
It says next to Matt Hamilton, here's Jim Rutledge.
Okay, true.
So it doesn't mention her name.
I mean, it's a Jim.
It says Jim, Matt, and Molly.
Well, it's Jim, Matt, and Molly, but should we go back to Jim and Matt?
So we should.
Well, it could be Rutledge and Hamilton edition of Jim, Matt, and Molly for the next 3 weeks or 3 months.
I would say
months. I meant months.
I'm more asking the question because Molly Brown, Luca, and Olivia, obviously they're home. I texted with her today. She's just getting used to waking up in the night. She forgot what it's like not to sleep. But I would say, what do we like? Is it today and then going forward? We're just gonna go back Jim, Matt, and Molly with Jim and Matt with you. Is that how we're doing it going forward? Like, at what point do I need to stop updating our fans that Molly had babies and she's gonna be out for a while?
Never.
I don't know.
It's cumbersome. It's a lot for me to remember already. You can just watch us on YouTube at Jim, Matt, Molly, obviously on X and ESPN Madison as well. And you can get into the show 844-770-3776. We're live from the Everlight Solar Studio. We're presented by Coors Light. If the mountains are blue, you know what to do.
And that's Crush. A Coors Light, Jim. You can use a Coors Light after that.
It's a lot. And so I'm trying to pare it down a little bit. How much longer do I need to update in the beginning that Molly's not here?
Why don't we just pretend like Molly doesn't exist anymore?
Okay.
I think that's the move.
It hasn't even been a week.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Today was the last one.
It's been a week. There you go.
When I'm gone for more than 1 week, do you preface it for like the first day or two, and then you're like, he's just gone?
You're not scheduled to be gone.
Sure I am.
I would say when you go back to the Olympics, we're going to be confident you're going to go back to the Olympics.
Yeah, that's a month.
Right, but we're going to just say, like, Matt's at the Olympics, and then, like, obviously you're competing, so I guess we'll probably bring it up regularly, but it would be more of like Matt's at the Olympics.
Come on, we won't bring up Olympics on this show.
But we'd say you're...
That would be dumb,
Matt,
according to
you
Balaga.
you should be absolutely flattered that I even say the word Olympics, because I am the least Olympic person in the entire world, but I get into it for curling.
Yeah!
That's about it. That's literally it, I think. I think curling, good for you. You made me care about Olympic sport, and it's curling. Solely curling. Ryan, do you care about Olympic sports?
I care about America. That's all I care about.
You know this is not like war, right? Like, we don't gain any land if we win or anything.
We don't?
No.
Well, we get gold.
It's counting.
Pride's nice, though. Like,
Pride, yeah.
The whole, our medal count's higher than your medal count.
I could not tell you a medal count for my entire life for whoever won an Olympics medal count.
Well, I mean, I couldn't tell you the exact, but I could tell you who won. I could probably tell you the top 3 of the last couple.
You're competing. You don't count. Ryan?
Well, if they weren't once every 2 years, I'd probably have a better memory of it. No, I couldn't tell. But I don't know if I could tell you the last 5 Super Bowl winners off the top of my head. Well,
Just
actually,
say
I could
Chiefs.
because it's Chiefs. Yeah, that's a good point.
All right. Get into the show, 844-770-3776.
When he recently...
Hey there.
Who was that?
That was Mary.
Mary. All right. Anyways, I want to get to the Badgers offensive coordinator, possible hire, but we'll pause that for a minute. But if you are tuning in right now, Pete Thamel said the Badgers are in negotiations, which if Pete Thamel's going to put it out, everyone's got to feel pretty good that this is happening. And so, because Pete Thamel from ESPN is not just going to say like they're in negotiations and say that like 4 times. Also, Kansas and Jeff Grimes would not want this to come out unless it is very, very far along. Same with Wisconsin. Everyone looks like idiots if it gets this far along and it doesn't come through. But it's not impossible it won't fall through. We all know Wisconsin can sometimes look like idiots. Jeff Grimes is in negotiations to be the offensive coordinator for the Wisconsin Badgers. At Kansas, he was assistant head coach / offensive coordinator. Now, Kansas should stand out to some Badger fans. He is coaching with current or former Badgers GA and former Whitewater championship winning coach and former Buffalo coach Lance Leipold, a Wisconsin native. We've had him on this show before.
A co-head coach with him?
Assistant head coach.
Oh, okay.
Now, he was poached.
Assistant to the regional coach.
He was poached from Baylor. At Baylor, he was the offensive coordinator from 2021 and 2000 through 23. So to get him, they probably had to give him a title along with some more money. So that was a big get for Kansas to get Jeff Grimes, the offensive coordinator, formerly at Baylor and at BYU. Then he's also been a run game coordinator for LSU, Vatech, Auburn, Colorado, to name some. So, and the offensive line coach mixed in there as well. So he's got the pelts on the wall as far as where you'd want someone to have recruiting backgrounds in and where he has coached major conferences, major schools. And with this offensive background for him, you might be excited about what it means for the Badgers. Ryan, you said something about, well, I'll give you the stats I have here. So, well, actually, just go ahead. You said your general thought on the way he runs the offense is what? I think you said that he tries to run the ball and then...
Well, yeah, it's going to be a lot of hardcore power running game, and then on top of that, it's going to be a lot of deep to intermediate routes, a lot of over the middle, a lot of deep shots.
So after dark running, I like that. Hardcore running. After dark running, yeah.
Well, it's hardcore because he's going to have like 6 offensive linemen on the field a good majority of the time, actually. I believe that's what Kansas did a lot last year. It's what they've done in the past few years. So it's going to be a lot of heavy personnel.
That's what the Badgers did for an entire decade and a half.
It'll be, similar, but it's going to be more slinging it, I think, than the Badgers ever did. Like, when they throw the ball, they're going to be throwing it with intent, not just like pitter-patter down the field when they throw the ball.
The Russell year was...
the 1 year in the last 15, yes.
And so if...
So is that what you're going to equate this to? It's like the Russell year?
Not even, because it's not even that much play action. I think it's going to be a lot more aggressive shots. It's not going to be conservative, the passing game at least. It's going to be a heavy running game at the end of the day. So I think Badgers fans will find it familiar.
Do you know he coached at BYU?
Yes, he did.
No, I didn't know who he coached.
Who he coached? Zach Wilson?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, all right.
Is that do we like that?
I'm just having some fun. I know that name.
Okay.
But Zach Wilson was awesome in college.
Yeah.
In college.
So we are in college.
We're in college?
The Badgers
are a college team. He's
and I
trying
say
to
we
coach
for
a college
Wisconsin.
team.
Because ESPN Madison's home Badger
True,
volleyball,
but
which is coming up later in the show.
The one thing I will say
is
is that BYU that year when Zach Wilson was there was the COVID year, I believe, and they did go up against a lot of weaker opponents when they had that great run with Jeff Grimes.
That
and
was
Zach
their
Wilson.
Boca Bowl year, man. Do not get on my Boca Bowl.
They also lost that Boca Bowl.
Because we are going to announce a Boca Bowl winner a little bit later in the show. So don't get on the Boca Bowl.
Wait, they actually played in the Boca Bowl that year?
Yep.
That's kind of disappointing. Anyways.
If I could flip you off if we weren't on camera, I would.
Ryan's just got the highest expectations.
I don't have the highest expectations. My point is that it's an offense that could work, and it worked at Baylor for a few years, and it's worked at Kansas, but it's more of going back to the roots of what Wisconsin is, which I think everyone's going to find a welcome sign. But
I feel like it's what we're built for is this kind of offense.
I don't know if they are built for it right now because they were built for trying to build for the air raid the last 2 years.
That is what the foundation of recent Wisconsin football was built on. Big offensive linemen smack you in the mouth for the first 2 quarters of a football game until you're too tired that you can't tackle our running backs in the second half.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's exciting. I just hope we have the personnel to make it work because I kept my whole thing with Fickell and this offense currently was they just need a little bit of time to get the players they need into like a starting role. All their recruits, the ones that they have a vision for how this is going to work, get into positions that can make a difference. And, we're 2 years in. Obviously, looked like we took a backslide this year. I'm ready to move forward with the new OC. Obviously, we're getting one, but does that mean all these recruits we've been working for the last 2 years are now not necessarily going to fit this scheme, and we're going to have to go out and wait for another recruiting cycle and maybe some transfer portal action to get the players that this guy thinks he needs to put together the offense he's trying to run? Does that make sense?
Yes. I will say this. Points for at Kansas, they're 35.6 points per game. Oh, wait, that's not the right year. Sorry. I don't know why that would load up different year stats. But At Kansas, they finished the year. They won 3 out of their last 4 games. They didn't get bowl eligible, but they finished on a hot streak at the end, including they were able to beat 3 straight ranked opponents out of the last 4 games. The last game was against Baylor, and they lost that one. But just in general.
But yeah, they took down Colorado.
Mm-hmm.
And
then
who are these other 2 ranked ones?
But their running back, 16 touchdowns, 1,300 yards rushing. Their quarterback, Jalen Daniels, who's I don't know how many games he played this year. He's a guy that does get dinged a lot, but is a guy who can make some plays with his legs. Had a down year this year for Daniels.
If
but
he came to Wisconsin, then I'd be much more excited. Then I'd be really excited.
Does he have any eligibility left?
I believe he does still have an
He's a junior. Ooh.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But once again, gets dinged a lot, like you said.
Yeah, but then you have Carter and Matoyer. Like, I want a vet in front of the youngsters.
They need a roster.
Yes.
They need to fill that depth chart.
Yes, but I do like that because here's the thing.
We've had some bad luck with quarterback health.
Here's 2022 Daniels, his last, I would say, super healthy year. 66% completion percentage, 2,000 yards passing, 18 touchdowns, 4 interceptions.
List his rushing stats, too.
Yeah, I'll get those rushing stats here for you in a second here. I don't know if it's going to be game long for rushing stats. Let me get to the Seahawks stats. So if Jaden Daniels come, that would actually be even more exciting.
If Jaden Daniels comes, then I'm really excited.
I said Jalen.
Any relation there or no?
No.
447 yards rushing this year for him, 419 yards in 2019, with 7 touchdowns on the ground in 19 and 6 in 2024. So for his career, 19 touchdowns on the ground, 1,000 yards rushing. So he is an explosive player. So if he came too, look out.
Yeah.
The Badgers have at least a playmaker, and then you can keep your other youngsters and get them in as long as Daniels can be healthy enough for them to at least feel like they can play better.
It's funny, we talk about the depth chart and quarterback. Half those guys are going to get in the transfer portal because they don't like their usage anyway. That just seems to be the new way. It's like, oh, you're going to have me ride the pine for another season, or you're going to have me ride the pine for one season. I'm out. I'm going to go find my team that I can lead somewhere else.
Yes, and that's just how it's going to go. I would say one positive for the transfer portal in this moment is that Wisconsin is clearly, to your point, trying to rework what they're doing on offense a little bit. Mm-hmm. That's why I think part of the reason why Tretch left. But then defensively, too. Some of the players even said, I'm being asked to do things I wasn't asked to recruit here for. I might not get the playing time. They're trying to remember that they also have to win games against Iowa and Nebraska. So now they're going to try to create an offense that can win against Iowa and Nebraska and also compete against Oregon and USC. And then the other part of it was on the defensive side of the ball. They're trying to get a little bit bulkier and maybe have a little bit thicker fronts at times against teams that can smash the ball down your throat.
That Bagier front.
That Bagier front. We did have JJ and Ponette chime in. Matt being out is more common than not, so nobody's thinking Matt got fired, died, or anything like that.
It's true.
People might worry about Molly.
Yeah, Molly's okay.
And then Ryan, our psychedelic advisor, says, Jim, in all honesty, I think 2 weeks is all you need to let the fans know Molly is gone for maternity leave. Of course, not gone forever.
Perfect. One more week.
One more week of it. That's fine. I'm fine with it.
I think that's appropriate. It just needs more than a week.
I'll tighten it.
I want to celebrate her kids. She had 2 kids, so if it was one kid was 1 week, we need to do 2 weeks.
Okay, there you go.
This is Olivia week.
So Molly's out
next
doing
week.
Baby mama stuff.
Next week is Luca week, and then we forget about them till they're back.
We just play Luca highlights all next week.
Yeah,
coming back from break.
I could get some soundtracks from the movie Luca.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Do you guys? There's no way you guys know the song, but the song Luca.
I feel like I've heard of it.
It's by Susan Vega.
Never heard of her.
Definitely not.
You might know her song Tom's Diner.
Oh, yes, definitely. Oh, yeah. Yeah, 100%.
Oh, yeah.
So she sang that song. And then the song Luca is actually a tragic song. So it's about it's about a kid and living in an apartment. And it's the kid lives upstairs. It's hi, my name is Luca. I live on the 2nd floor. And he's got bad parents. And so that's
so
what the song is.
I shouldn't play it as our next bump? Is what
I
you're
mean,
saying?
if we all want to get in our feels, we can.
I don't.
The Packers did lose to the Lions yesterday for the 6th time.
Yeah, but the Badgers are getting a new OC. We're happy now.
I'm already in my feels, so I don't want to play a sad song coming back. Let's stick to Phish.
844-770-3776. JJ and Ponette chimed in immediately. I live on the 2nd floor, so he knows the song.
Wait, is that the song name, or does he just live on the 2nd floor?
He lives on the
song
2nd
name
floor
is
because
Luca.
Luca lives on the 2nd floor.
Okay.
I'll send that to Molly during the breaks to bring her down.
Yeah,
a little
perfect.
bit. Yes.
Perfect. Hey,
Bring
Molly,
her down.
I know you're just loving motherhood right now. Check this song out.
Yeah, I'm sure you got too much good. It's
But
too
I'll
easy
tell
right
you
now
this:
for
when
you
you are singing to your kids, a million different songs pop in your head. You'll sing songs that are not necessarily all there's only a few decent songs about having kids that you actually know the words to. I actually at times sang Enter Sandman. If you sing it as a lullaby, it's fine. Exit light, enter night, take my hand into Never Never Land. Okay? Like if you sing it sing-songy, it's fine.
What do you sound like
be up with
what's his name with the spoken word?
Right.
William Shatner,
yeah.
spoken word singing.
Well, that's how I mean I'm not going to
You
sing.
light up a cigarette too is like
just with the babies.
Just when we're putting the kids to sleep.
844-770-3776. If you are ever blessed to be up in the night with babies, the most random songs will come to your head and you just sing them however you remember them. And you honestly end up singing like one verse of them because nobody knows all the verses to all their songs.
Fair.
844-770-3776, how you get into the show. So we are going to ask the question that I posted on my personal Twitter. And I think it's worth getting into. I want to first, though, Matt, I want to get your thoughts to what I said after the game. Here's my 2 thoughts after the game, and I think they're fair. The Lions are just better than the Packers. The Packers played tough, but they're not as good at this point in the season. They're probably the third or fourth best team in the NFC, which still gives them a Super Bowl chance. They're just not the favorites. They'll have a bite at the apple. Anything can happen in the playoffs. Absolutely.
Right.
But the disappointing part right now is that's where they were last year. And so you were hoping they would take a step to be right there with the Lions and be in the Eagles spot or be like the team that's like, we are the number 1 contender, if not the favorite to go to the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
That's a step you wanted, but that doesn't matter.
I will say that's the full step I wanted. I do feel like this team has looked more consistent than last year's team. Last year's team was high, low.
Okay, so
low,
let's get to the part
low,
that is
high.
very consistent from last year. Also, the Packers need a defense that makes a stop at the end. All too familiar seeing opposing teams bleed the clock and get game-winning points year after year. And to the point of Packer fans to be losing their mind because it actually would put their playoff chances in jeopardy. If the Bears weren't so inept, the Bears let it down the field for a 45-yard field goal attempt. They're just inept. But that was another time the Bears had the ball at the 1-yard line and took it all the way down and bled the clock out and were able to get themselves in position to kick that game. Now, they didn't make it, and that's the part that matters for the Packers. But when we're talking about a defense, it's a defense that needs to have a stiff back and actually close out these games. I think Philadelphia, the losses this year have been that part of it. They are better at getting turnovers, and this defense was hurt, but so the Lions were hurt too.
Right.
I just think the Packers are close. They're just not as good as Detroit and Philadelphia, but I still think they have a Super Bowl chance. They're not going to be the favorite at the moment.
Yeah, totally agree with that. And to be fair to this defense, yes, it's kind of like a new flavor of the same full-fat ice cream, so to speak. There's just as many bad calories in there.
It's more exciting, though.
But, yeah, instead of the bad calorie vanilla ice cream, this is like Rocky Road where you get a couple, interception chunks of marshmallow and chocolate. As opposed to, last year was yep, they're just going to chunk it down the field, slowly but surely bleed the clock and get in. At least this year, I feel like
it's
with
aggressive,
the turnovers, it looks better. It makes me feel better about it. Even if you're telling me that, say, who's our guy? What's his name? From last year.
Who's the old guy right now? What's his name from last year? Joe Barry.
Joe Barry, thank you.
It's a generic name. Okay.
Yeah, very forgettable. And I'm trying to block that name out of my life for the rest of forever.
That's fair.
So Joe Barry's defense, it just seemed bland, right? With Halfley now, there's a little flair to it. So even if you showed me similar stats, in 1-score games, the opposing team wins the game 60% of the time, and that's the same with Jeff Halfley's offense. I'm okay with that.
844-770-3776. So here's what I said. Saying going for it means respect for the Packers offense. That was Brad Nortman's quote. It also implies that the Lions then had no fear of not converting because it is worse for the Lions statistically, analytically, if they don't get it, the Packers have a chance to then go and win the game with this so-called terror quarterback they're terrified of. Because if the Packers actually make the stop, and this is what I was saying, then Love could lead the team on a game-winning field goal drive, not a drive to tie the game in the fourth quarter. So why did the Lions go for it? Right now, 34% of you said no respect for the Packers defense. 23% said afraid of the Packers offense. and 43% of you said Lions DNA. We'll address that on the other side. But J&K Security Solutions, Jeff and the whole team over there are fantastic. Locally owned, veteran-owned, family-owned. When you're looking to protect your home or business, there's no other call to make than other to J&K Security Solutions. They can help with Control 4 at your home and home security, and they also can help with business security and commercial fire detection at J&K Security Solutions. This is Jim, Matt, and Molly, presented by Coors Light.
You're listening live from St. John's, Newfoundland. The Newfies love Jim, Matt, and Molly. 100.5 ESPN Madison.
Matt Hamilton here to tell you about my friends at Revive Restoration. Nobody plans for accidents to happen, but when they do, you can count on Revive to be professional, efficient, and detail-oriented as they make things right again. Revive Restoration.
When you're in the right place at the right time, things get done. The important things, like knowing what you need and how it all works. Talking truck. Fixing it right the first time. At Zimbrick Chevrolet, our people get it done right and now. That's how you know you're in the right place at the right time. And you'll never overpay at Zimbrick Chevrolet.
My husband and I grew up across the street from each other. We've known each other since we were 8 years old. When he recently passed away, I looked at our wedding bands and I wanted them combined into one ring. Chalmers Jewelers totally understood what I wanted. When I got the final product, they knocked it out of the park. It makes me feel kind of warm inside knowing that we're together in this one ring.
Chalmers Jewelers in Middleton
and Madison.
Are you looking for the perfect gift this holiday season? Hi, I'm Devin Chalmers.
And I'm Garrett Chalmers. For 32 years, Chalmers Jewelers has helped to keep Madison sparkling. We can help you with your shopping list. Consider layered necklaces and bracelets, mixed metal stacks, and bold combinations.
Solid gold chains, and vibrant gemstone jewelry. Don't forget, we offer free gift wrapping.
Visit either of our 2 locations.
Chalmers Jewelers in Middleton
and Madison.
UW Credit Union presents the Prep Mania Student Athlete of the Week, supporting local student athletes as they grow on the field, in the classroom, and in the community. UW Credit Union is here for every you. Learn more at uwcu.org. Here's Dennis Semrau with the UW Credit Union Student Athlete of the Week.
Our ESPN Madison UW Credit Union Student Athlete of the Week, Peyton Flowers from DeForest High School. Welcome, Peyton.
Hello.
You're state champion in swimming. Your last meet as a senior, you get to be on top of the podium twice.
Yeah, I mean, it obviously felt amazing. I've worked really hard to get here. Have never won anything at state before, so it's something I've been working towards my whole life.
When's the first time you swam competitively? You remember when you started?
I've been swimming for about a decade. My mom tells me that I was afraid of the water when I started.
So you've come a long way.
Yeah.
When you look back in your time at the school, what do you remember most about being a North Ski?
Obviously swimming. I had a really special team. I think there's a lot of support and love that I experienced on this team, and I don't think I'll ever forget that.
In the next 30 seconds, I'm going to tell you how to save money and save the planet. It's simple. Ditch your energy bill and make the switch over to Everlight Solar. While electricity prices keep rising, Everlight Solar will give you the chance to take ownership of your power while also reducing your carbon footprint. As a local company based out of Madison, they'll be there with you every step of the way as you make the switch to solar. To learn more about how you can save money and save the planet, go to everlightsolar.com.
Hi, this is Lee, inviting you to Ruth's Chris Steakhouse in Middleton. We got a great happy hour every day of the week from 4 o'clock to 7, and our patio during the summer is open too. If you're getting married, special occasion, a birthday, anniversary, or even a business meeting, we've got all the accommodations right here at Ruth's Chris Steakhouse. You work hard and sometimes you're not sure what you want to do, where you want to spend your money. I want to encourage you to come into Ruth's Chris Steakhouse and say hello. It'd be a pleasure to meet you.
Prairie Athletic Club is the ultimate destination for health, wellness, and crushing your goals. This is Sarah Tauscher. Say goodbye to post-workout aches and pains at the Pack's new Recovery Zone. With their assisted stretch and pneumatic boot sessions, you can get instant results, leaving you feeling refreshed and ready to tackle your next workout. Don't believe it works? Give it a try. Stop in, stretch your body, and relax your mind at the Pack. Visit prairieathletic.com to learn more. Prairie Athletic Club, family, fun, community.
Phish Friday on Jim, Matt, and Molly is brought to you by Off-Broadway Draft House. Enjoy a traditional Friday fish fry at Madison's favorite neighborhood gathering spot, Off-Broadway Draft House.
Jim, Matt, and Molly, presented by Coors Light, continues live from the Everlight Solar Studio. You can watch us on YouTube as well. Finish the show, 844-770-3776. I asked this question last night off of our good friend Brad Nortman. And I didn't quote Brad in it because Matt Hamilton said the same thing in our text line. So basically, why did the Lions go for it on fourth down last night? 844-770-3776, specifically at the end of the game, to bleed out the clock and go for that game-winning field goal. The options are no respect for the Packers defense at 36% right now, afraid of the Packers offense at 23%, and then Lions DNA at 42%, Matt Hamilton.
I voted Lions DNA. Last night, I was obviously angry, upset, disheveled even, and I think I got a little bit ahead of myself saying, yeah, they're just afraid. When you look at the past of Dan Campbell, he just does it. That's the culture he's built in Detroit and at Ford Field. It's when we have the ball, we are going to keep the ball. And the reason, and two of the reasons, one of the reasons, we're going for it because we know we can get it. We're that good. And two, if we don't get it, we have the defense that can back our offense up and say, hey, don't worry about it. We got you guys. So I just think that is the mindset that they have in Detroit. Now, was there fear of giving Love and LaFleur a chance with the football? Like, sure, maybe a little bit. Maybe not fear, but you're like, statistically, it does not behoove us to give them the ball.
Actually, statistically, it would have been better for them to kick the field goal at the end of the game. Not bleed the clock out, but just kick it.
And give them the ball back.
Yes. Analytically, and I'm pulling off Bill Simmons, who referenced, I can't remember who off the internet, but he said that it was a slight difference, but it actually was slightly, because he said the analytics nerds didn't love what Dan Campbell did.
Here's my thought on it. I'm sure if you pull an entire season, one game is a microcosm of a season. That game, they were 3 for 4, 75% at converting that fourth and short.
Mm-hmm. And the one time that Dana was a bad play call.
75% chance at getting it. I'm sure that you've got better odds if you give the other team that ball back. Like, you got to, it's kind of like what we do in curling. If you have a 10% chance of winning in the extra end, if you don't have that last stone, you've got to think, if you think you make this game-winning Hail Mary shot more than 10% of the time, you've got to take it. I felt Dan Campbell was like, we're humming at a 75% click right now. We got to take that chance. 75% of the time we get this. Why wouldn't we?
And in that case, you can make a case.
Those are odds that any bettor would never turn down. If you have a 75% chance of converting your bet, why wouldn't you play that?
And realistically, the case would be made that he believed in his defense.
100%.
Because if he doesn't get it, he feels like
they can still
they'll go to overtime and then go win this at home.
Right.
And so, to me, it's the DNA. There's other factors into it because I would say outside of an inept offense, which the Packers are not, I think their philosophy is we're not giving the ball back to the opposing team with a chance to win it or tie it. We're not going to do that. Like, that is part of his philosophy. It is we are going to go win the game. We're not going to go play not to lose. And as a Bears fan who has seen the Bears lose basically 4 games this year because their head coach was terrified of losing and coached not to lose instead of to win, I absolutely love it.
It's real.
Now, again, this is not an indictment of the Packers as a Super Bowl contender because I think they have just as good a chance as anyone to play Detroit in Detroit at the NFC Championship game. I think they have a chance just like everyone else. But I also think that there's a chance that they could lose to whomever they end up playing in the playoffs at any point. I mean, I don't think there's a massive – I think the gap between the Lions and the Packers is not massive, but it's still a end of Eagles. I think those two teams in the top tier that gap between them and the Packers and the Vikings is larger than the gap between the Packers, Vikings, maybe the Rams. I'm not the Bucks. I don't know who else is going to be in it.
Falcons are in
Falcons.
the mix.
Yeah, I think the Falcons are going to lose to the Vikings.
Seahawks.
The Packers play the Seahawks here.
Right.
So I think the Packers are better than those teams, and I think the Packers have a chance. But I think the Packers, I'll put it like this: the Packers have a chance to beat anyone in the playoffs, but I also think they have a chance to lose to anyone in the playoffs.
Yeah. I mean, I would agree with that. And based on this season prior to, I would say, the Miami game, is the Packers kind of played to the level of their opponent, regardless of who it was, whether you should beat the snot out of them or not. Like, we didn't really have any big signature wins. You had the Titans early. Like I said, Miami, you handled that game pretty good. And then the Rams, but the Rams were a shell of themselves again. And so was the Niners. So I'm not really throwing those games in there as like decisive wins over like solid starting caliber NFL players on the opposing side. I will say my biggest takeaway from this is kind of like, unfortunately, the same takeaway you had as the Packers after they beat the Miami Dolphins was I don't really think any more of them, or in this case, I don't think like really any less of them. I thought they battled pretty hard against the best team or the second best team in the NFC, and some people are saying maybe one of the best teams in the NFL right now. Like, they held their own. They played a fine game. They obviously had some mistakes that shot themselves in the foot, but like, I'm not like put out to the fact like, man, we don't have a chance when we get to these playoffs now. Like, they still seem like a team who could go out there, and if the chips fall their way, they could beat anybody. You're going to need to catch some breaks, or you're going to have to tighten some things up. And I think both things could happen.
True, and this is the truth, and we're going to get to Jason Wilde on the other side. As of today, you'd rather be, not like the fandom part of it, but you'd rather be a fan of the Detroit Lions right now, a team that went to the NFC Championship game last year, won the division last year, has won this game 6 out of the last 7 times, and looks like a team that will be playing again in the NFC Championship game. They have a high level of confidence. They have supreme assistant coaches and a head coach. I mean, both their assistant coaches could be gone to be head coaches next year. The Detroit Lions are a well-coached football team with a very defined identity, and they're playing great. And Jared Goff is one of he was the better quarterback yesterday. I think Jordan Love's a better quarterback than Jared Goff, but yesterday he played better.
I mean, it's tough to even say that. Jared Goff has been better all season.
True.
He had one bad game, and that was against the Texans, and they still managed to win.
And that's the Lions right now. Mm-hmm. So they are just a team that is looks a team of destiny, but it doesn't mean the Packers can't derail that destiny. Matt, before we get to Jason Wilde, tell us about Metcalf's Market.
So it's the holiday season. Metcalf's Market has all of the delicious foods you might want to have for that holiday season. You want prime rib? They got it. You want some of the best steaks, that Piedmontese beef steaks that you can only get at Metcalf's Market? They have your back. Maybe you're just going to a Christmas party and you want to not show up empty-handed. They've got a great wine and liquor selection, and you can bring that nice charcuterie board with the plethora of cheeses they have from all the local Wisconsin-made cheese. Obviously, that's close, near, dear to my heart. Or you can get the import cheese. They've got it all. Their produce is fantastic, so if you need to whip up a quick little salad to bring to a potluck, trust me when I say Metcalf's Market has some of the best produce around. And not only that, if you become a Metcalf's Market member, you can save money every single day. So what are you waiting for? Go to Metcalf's Market, sign up to be a Metcalf's member, and bring local home.
Jason Wilde next.
You're listening to Jim, Matt, and Molly, presented by Coors Light on 100.5 ESPN, ESPN Madison on YouTube, and Wisconsin On Demand.
Coors Light presents To Chill or Not to Chill. When your friend skips your favorite song on the playlist. End the friendship. Or choose chill because that song lives rent-free in your head anyway. And you planned ahead by bringing Coors Light to the party. And the sound of that ice-cold can cracking open was music to your ears already. Coors Light. Choose chill. Celebrate responsibly. 2024 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
Wins, wins, and more wins are waiting to be uncovered at Potawatomi. Get ready to find yours in a winter stash of $300,000 in prizes this December. Play with your rewards card for entries, drawings on 3 thrilling Thursdays. Some seriously big wins are waiting for you. Winter Stash at Potawatomi Casino Hotel Milwaukee. More info at paysbig.com. Must be 21 and a rewards member to play.
Your Honda gets you everywhere. When it needs service, you need Zimbrick Honda service. Their customer service is second to none, and you can experience it for yourself at 2 convenient Madison service locations on Fish Hatchery Road and Grand Canyon Drive. From simple maintenance to expert repairs, Honda certified technicians handle it all. Need new tires? For a limited time at Zimbrick Honda, you can buy 3 tires and get the 4th for only $1. Part of the Madison community since 1973. Shop local. Shop Zimbrick Honda.
Hey, it's John Hayes, owner of Goodman's Jewelers. Come in and discover the high standards, classic traditions, honesty, integrity, and elegance when you walk through our doors. For over 90 years, customers have returned again and again to our warm boutique setting. Trust me, because I've been there for over 40 of them. Whether it's time to come back or your first time in, stop by Goodman's Jewelers at 220 State Street today. Goodman's Jewelers, the diamond store of Madison since 1933.
The best is at Goodman's.
Welcome back to Jim, Matt, and Molly, presented by Coors Light on 100.5 ESPN. Also brought to you by J&K Security Solutions.
Jason, quick
You
question.
are one of one.
3-time Wisconsin Sports Writer of the Year.
Help me understand a little bit more clearly what you're asking.
Did you ever hear it called Don't Go Jason Waterfalls?
Is this Matt Hamilton?
So I kind of just thought of this question on the spot. So it needs to be workshopped a little. I'm not going to lie.
That's the same as Matt.
Jason Wilde is on Jim, Matt, and Molly.
What's up with that? 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 What's up with that?
Jim, Matt, and Molly continues live from the Everlight Solar Studio. We're thrilled to be joined by Jason Wilde. And Jason, lots to take from the game, and I know we have a tight window with you. So I'll ask this question first with the Lions. And the Lions are a team that is slightly better than the Packers. I think they've won 6 out of the last 7. They're 5-1 since 2022. They're not dramatically better. But the biggest difference I see, it's not even style of play. It's just the Detroit Lions from top to bottom, they're starting to remind me of like the Ravens and the Steelers, where like you have an exact identity. You know who you're playing, and the Detroit Lions know who they are from top to bottom, and that includes going for it on 4th down, whether it's in your own side of the field, up 3 on your 30-yard line and not getting it, or taking the big risk and putting your defense at risk, because if you don't get this 4th down, then Jordan Love has the ball with an opportunity to go win the game on a field goal. So the Detroit Lions, they have a very strong identity top to bottom. And how much do you think that helps them in these tight games?
Yeah, Jason, what's up with that?
Yeah, it's a really good question, Jimmy. I like the fact that they have an identity, right? I mean, if you look at the Packers, what's the Packers' identity exactly? Right? Like,
I don't know.
You know, Rodgers and Favre kind of set those teams' identity based on the star quarterback. That was the identity. And Love's not there yet, and their defense isn't well defined at this point. Josh Jacobs and the physicality seems to be becoming their identity a little bit, but like it seemed like LaFleur forgot about him the first 3 series.
Yeah.
So, you know, I think that's a really interesting point, and the fact of the matter is that sometimes aggressive is just plain stupid.
Yeah.
And I actually have a bigger problem with going for it on your own 30-yard line when you're kind of starting to gain control of the game. And even if you punt, your defense gets a stop, and now you go in and score on a more realistic field, and now you're, up 10 again, as opposed to I understood what the reasoning was for going for it on the 4th down. You're tied, so you're going to go to overtime most likely if you fail. But you also, if you succeed, you keep the ball out of Jordan Love's hands, and they have no chance to come back at you, right, and force a further overtime. So I know there were people that were killing him for it, but that was not – I thought that the one when you're up 24-21 and you're on your own 30-yard line was far more reckless than the one at the end.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I agree with you on that. So the question I had with this game is where do you – it was interesting how the Packers have, over the last few games, I think, smartly kind of made Jordan Love maybe almost not even the main focus of the offense. They've been leaning on Jacobs, and you referenced it there, that the more they gave the ball to Jacobs, I think the more effective it makes Jordan Love. Do you think that, I mean, you mentioned LaFleur might forget it. Do you think that that is their recipe for winning most games, is to not treat Jordan Love that he is the next Aaron Rodgers and treat him as he's Jared Goff, where you use the run game to set up the pass and you let him make good, quick decisions with a strong arm and make some plays instead of making him go out there and be the playmaker?
Yeah, I think somewhere in between those two options, Jim, is where they need to live, right? Because look, I've defended Jared Goff. My cohort, Tausch, loves to diss him. Oh no, he's a good quarterback as long as he's on the spot and as long as it's in rhythm. Otherwise, you could rattle. And Tausch isn't wrong, by the way.
That throw to Antonio, that St. Brown throw at the end of the game was he had McDuffie in his chin.
Yeah, that was
after McDuffie did a front flip.
But he still got it off with pressure.
Well, yeah, McDuffie didn't even put his hands up. He was just running.
But do you see Jared Goff being able to make that throw that Love makes to Watson? Not the 59-yarder, the one where he's caught up in the wash of the pass rush, and he flips his hips, and he basically like levitates and does like a jump cut that a running back would make to throw that ball to Watson on the left side. Like I'll say this, I was really impressed. It made me think, this is the same guy that I used to say I haven't seen enough wow throws from.
True.
And now look at what a wow throw that is. So, look, somewhere in between, though, I do think is where they need to live. That don't put the game entirely on him, because when you do that, he makes some boneheaded, risky decisions. But give him enough leeway to make some of those opportunities, but make sure you're running the ball, make sure you're running play action. The core of this offense from the minute he got here, LaFleur, was that this is supposed to be a play-action offense, and they don't do it as much. They've kind of evolved, but that I think still has to be, especially with a guy as good as Jacobs. It pains me to say this, but he is better than Aaron Jones. He's different, but he is better. And with a guy like that on your team, you got to use him, and you got to make things easier on your quarterback because you have him.
Absolutely. And for Love, the reason why I said to Goff, what did he complete? 75% of his passes. He's steady Eddie. You're right, he can't make that throw, but take it from a guy in Chicago. Like, I love what Caleb Williams doing, and we point to all the great throws, but all I hear is he needs to go play like Jared Goff and have consistency throughout the entire game. The wild throws are spectacular in Chicago too. Jordan Love is in his 5th year in the league and his 2nd season as a starter. I just think that the more they run the ball, in a very positive way, the more he looks like Jared Goff, who's a quarterback who's been to a Super Bowl, has gotten to an NFC Championship game, has won multiple divisions. He's a winning quarterback. And I guess that's what I was getting to. Oh, yeah. Jordan Love's ceiling is way higher.
Yeah, my out isn't as hard as I made Wooly think, so we can keep talking. But I just got to pick up Maddie from gymnastics. But I would say this. I agree with you on everything you said about Goff. I just think that Love has more natural talent. And when you have a guy with a little bit more talent, it's a lot. And look, I think Jared Goff is very realistic about who he is. I think he knows he's better than he gets credit for, but I think he also knows his limitations, which I think we should be all better at that, right? Like, we should all recognize our limitations. You don't need me trying to do a Howard Stern style show or expecting to be a national host. That's not what I don't have that talent that he does. So I don't think there's anything wrong with saying that they need a little more Jared Goff from Love, but there's also going to be times, and quite frankly, to beat the Lions if they see him again in the playoffs, they might need Jordan Love to be more like Aaron Rodgers in like Atlanta in 2010 and be able to put the team on his back. Because if I'm the Lions and I do have to play these guys again, I am saying, come hell or high water, I am not letting Josh Jacobs beat me. Mm-hmm. That's what I'm doing.
Did we get, like, when you're on a date and, like, if it's going well, you're like, never mind, I don't need to take the call. I feel like that's kind of what happened with Jason and his heart out. He's like, okay, these questions are all right. I'll hang around. So go ahead and ruin it, Matt. Ask your question.
Yeah. In fairness to me, the text that I sent to Wooly was I'd like to be out 5:45 or 4:45 ish. So it wasn't like I got to be out at 4:45. And I'm not throwing Wooly under the bus. He is such a good dude.
Trying to respect your time.
His arms are crossed right now.
And by the way, you guys never respect my time, so I appreciate him trying to make you do that.
Exactly. For once, I was trying to be respectful.
Now, Jason, we just want to ask more than 2 questions. So, that's why we just want, to be able to get all your time.
Sure.
Yeah.
I get it.
Yeah.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
So, Jason, I kind of just have like a feeling, and I want to know if it's right or wrong in your eyes.
I've got a feeling.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I've got a feeling that Matt LaFleur, there's no adjustments being made in the first half. Like, we've seen it go well in the first half, and we roll, and away we go. But when it doesn't, like the first quarter doesn't start the way like I want it, I feel like there's no big change that happens until second half. And I know that might be hard because you can get the whole team together in the locker room at halftime, but like, am I crazy for thinking that we just stick with the same scheme that they had practiced for the first half, and then when they have to make an adjustment, they just do it at halftime? And should they be trying to do something a little bit sooner? Because a half of a football game might not be enough to overcome whatever deficit you put yourself in?
Yeah, you're crazy. So here's why you're crazy.
Yeah, tell me why I'm crazy.
So I think yesterday was actually proof of the opposite. And it's not a good thing. But here's why. So the first 3 series, and I don't have the numbers in front of me, but the first 3 series, they go punt, fumble by Watson, right, at the end of the 20-yard catch. Like, Love completed 3 passes in the first half. One of them was the 20-yarder. It was for 31 yards total. But the one play that was a good play ends in a fumble. I mean, they were bad in terms of the pass game. But yet, and this is my issue with his game plan yesterday, and I would say this to Matt if he'd have been available today. I get it last year on Thanksgiving when you're a 4-6 team and you feel like you got to go in there and be bold, right? So he goes up top on the very first play to Watson. It works, and it kind of sets the tone like, we ain't scared of these guys. Let's go. And they go and win on Thanksgiving. My issue is that this year's team is not last year's team. And it was almost, to me, like he looked around after the first 3 series and said, oh, my God, Josh Jacobs, what are you doing here? I forgot you were here. And then they finally started running the football against a depleted defensive line. And I was like, why didn't you – if it was me, and again, I'm sure he had his reasons, but you didn't need to go up top and get your quarterback sacked for a 7-yard loss on the opening play. And I didn't like it before he got sacked. I didn't like it as he was dropping back. Because if I'm them, I'm saying I'm going to wear your you-know-what out with Josh Jacobs. You got a bunch of backups playing your defensive line. We're going to run and run and run, and we're going to possess the ball. Instead, they end up the night like the Lions had 70-ish plays and the Packers had 45. It's like 68-45, and you can't win. Like, Love threw 20 passes. He had 12 completions. So that's how Jaden Reed ends up without a single catch. So I don't think I don't think you're an idiot, but I do think that there are times where I question his in-game adjustments. I just don't question last night's because I think it's the opposite, where he went in with a not-so-great idea and then finally realized and adjusted and had success.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I feel like the first half, most of the time, against teams that I feel like are good, we don't have the right plan, and then he figures it out in the second half. My question is, why didn't he figure out
it earlier last night?
Yes, you're right.
He didn't wait till the halftime. He did it on their 4th drive.
That's true. It was a little bit earlier, but he still never figured out that their most dynamic playmaker got one target and didn't touch the ball all game. Like, my fantasy team hurts, but Jaden Reed needs the ball.
Yeah, no, he's on your team, isn't he?
Well, of course he is. And I did not expect a goose egg. Like, I could have been like, hey, the Lions have a pretty solid defense. They know what they're doing. He might not have a great game. But to be targeted once and to not get an end around or any sort of – how you get the ball to your best players. Jacobs one of our best players didn't really get the ball until, like you said, the 4th or 5th drive. Jaden Reed never got the ball, and I would call them 1A, 1B for offensive playmakers on this football team.
Detroit.
Yeah, I gotta be honest. I'm regretting the no hard out thing right about now.
So am I.
No,
I'm loving it.
I totally get it, Matt. I really do. I just wanted to make that joke, but I would say this: I'm kind of irritated with LaFleur. Not as irritated as he was with that idiot fan before the game.
Oh, yeah.
But it would have been nice if he would have talked today. Obviously, I wasn't in Detroit, and they only get so many questions post game. LaFleur does not. He's not like Holmgren, who would stand up there for a half hour after a game. But I would love to know a couple of things about last night. But I would also like to know, is there something wrong with Reed? Like, does he have an injury that they're limiting his? Because he only played 25 snaps. Like, Wicks played like 38, 36, somewhere in there. I think Watson played almost all of their 45 snaps. And so is he nursing some sort of injury? Was that part of it? Because he was not only was he not productive when he was on the field, he wasn't on the field as much as I expect him to be. So there's something there, and obviously I didn't get to ask him that today because he didn't talk. But that'll be something that bears watching, because you're right. Regardless of your what's the name of your fantasy team?
He's got 7. Just give us one.
Yeah, the star of the show.
7.
No, I have 4. I have 4 teams. Jim.
The star of the show? It's not even something clever, like that's curling related. I'm so disappointed right now.
Yeah, so 2 of them are dynasty leagues that have themes, so you can't really be super creative with it. And one of them is the ESPN league that we drafted in.
Mine is DeAndre Swifties. Mine is better than yours.
Cool.
Yeah, yours is better. Yeah, yours is better. No doubt.
I just didn't want anyone to have any doubt about the situation. I know I'm sandwiched in the middle of the show title.
They would think it's Molly.
I know. And I played Molly last week, and it was important to me that
Jason,
the star of the show won.
Let's respect Jason's time a little bit today on a Friday. Jason, thanks so much for hopping on.
You're great, Jason.
I'm happy. I'm just happy to have been the star of the show.
You definitely were. Thank you.
Thank you.
The team at Canopy Wealth Management take time to truly get to know and understand the dynamics of your values, goals, and plans for your financial future. Their local professional team brings over 90 years of collective experience in the wealth management industry to the table for the benefit of their clients. At Canopy, care, competence, and clarity is not just a tagline, it's a promise. Go to canopy-wealth.com to get started today. That's canopy-wealth.com. This is Jim, Matt, and Molly. We are going to play Green and Gold Blind Rankings next.
You're listening live from St. John's, Newfoundland. The Newfies love Jim, Matt, and Molly. 100.5 ESPN Madison.
Rah. Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin present your Badger Minute. Here's Pablo Iglesias.
This Badger Minute brought to you by Starion Bank, with 3 Madison area locations in Middleton, Sun Prairie, and Monona. Starion Bank is here investing in your community. Start your experience at starionbank.com. Member FDIC. Lamar Campbell joining the jump around with Jim Rutledge, the former Badger touching on recruiting the next wave of Badgers. Soup's thoughts on how to do that while upholding Wisconsin's values.
We can be progressive, we can recruit, we can do things differently, but a tradition of tough, smart, dependable, great defense, great offensive linemen, running back, serviceable quarterback. We've been able to find stars at the skill positions by focusing on, basically who we are. And I know we kick off, August 30th, 2025, but in my mind and a lot of the alumni mind, kickoff starts now.
If you're not getting windows from Santa, get as low as $19 per window and $81 per patio door per month. PellaWI.com.
Madison Weight Loss is having a huge holiday sale, almost 20% off, making it our lowest prices of the year. You can start the program before, during, or after the holidays. We know the secret to losing up to 1 pound of fat every day with no prepackaged meals, no injections or surgery. The secret is our program helps reset your metabolism so you can keep the weight off for good. To learn how our clients on average lowered their metabolic age by 17 years, go to MadisonWeightLoss.com now to schedule your free consultation and learn why your metabolism may be sabotaging your weight loss goals. Go to MadisonWeightLoss.com and save big now only through December 31st.
Hey, it's Jesse Nelson. The program with Madison Weight Loss was perfect for me to lose 40 pounds.
Trust me, Madison Weight Loss is the real deal. And take advantage of the huge holiday sale with the lowest prices of the year now through December 31st. You can start the program now or after the holidays, but you need to call now to lock in the huge discount. Go to MadisonWeightLoss.com now to schedule your free consultation. That's MadisonWeightLoss.com. Results may vary.
Forget about the front row. The best seat and the best place to be on game day is Off-Broadway Draft House for all the sports. Check out our new game day menu with tostado nachos and featuring $2 hams on tap. Those specials are available all day on Saturdays and Sundays. Find out firsthand why Off-Broadway Draft House was Madison's People's Choice winners for favorite bar, wait staff, and more. Game day, any day. Discover what others already know. Off-Broadway Draft House. Come for the beer, stay for the food.
Do you have trouble getting in and out of the bathtub? Are you afraid you'll slip and fall entering or exiting a tub? Safe Step walk-in tubs can transform your bathtub from an area of concern to a calming refuge. Call them today at 1-800-731-4558 and save $1,600. Safe Step walk-in tubs and showers are proudly made in Tennessee and offer an ultra-low step-in, avoiding that difficult climb over a traditional bathtub wall. They also offer a variety of therapeutic benefits that may help soothe your aching muscles and joints, increasing your mobility, boosting your energy, and improving your sleep. Safe Step walk-in tubs are designed to easily fit your existing tub space and are often installed in as little as one day. Just dial 1-800-731-4558 today to save $1,600 and receive a free shower package. That's 1-800-731-4558 for a free no-obligation consultation and to save $1,600. Safe Step walk-in tubs. Safety never felt so good.
Hi, Drew and Jonathan Scott here, reminding you that a lot of life's firsts are better with help from American Family Insurance. Like your first home expansion or your first big lightning strike. There's a first for everything. Get the right home policy at the right price with the right help from American Family's agents. Life's better when you're under American Family's roof. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. American Family Mutual Insurance Company SI and its operating company 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Welcome back to Jim, Matt, and Molly, presented by Coors Light on 100.5 ESPN. Brought to you by Metro Kia Madison, Madison's trusted Kia dealership.
I got a feeling that tonight's gonna be
Last night was not a good night for the Green Bay Packers. Matt Hamilton. Do you figure out your buttons now?
Tonight's going to be a good night.
Yeah, what are you doing?
Well, I mean, the Badgers are going to win in volleyball.
Okay, I like that. I'm
meeting a buddy over at Vintage for a post-show drink or beer.
Nice. Chris Middleton's making his return.
So they say. So they say.
He sweats a lot. I've seen a lot of funny memes of like him like covered in sweat. It's like Chris Middleton 40 seconds into the first
game. he has a lather going, dude.
And I am someone also
it's
that like
he's glistening. Jim. When you're an athlete, you're glistening. You're not sweating.
I too glisten very quickly when I play sports. So like I respect it. Like, I basically, if I play basketball for like an hour and a half on like a Friday morning, my closest
your
goal.
sweating and his glistening are different.
Oh, I glisten.
I don't believe you.
Everyone in the basically 40-plus basketball in the mornings glisten.
Yeah.
So they wish.
Yeah, glisten's the word I would use for that group of fellas.
As they all just kind of slide off each other when they bump and they try to like go to the lane. You know, you're driving up and all of a sudden it's just, thank God. Thank God. I think shirts and skins is just not a thing anymore. Like you just buy.
Not at 40, it ain't.
But I think it really, do people play it still? Like, I just have a reversible jersey. You just dark and light.
I mean.
All right, let's get to green and gold.
Yeah, let's get to green and gold indeed.
Dark and light green and gold.
Yeah.
We don't need to get deeper
Shirts
into that.
for skins curling.
Yeah, I don't want to get into Jim shirtless right
Would you
now.
go shirtless curling?
Yeah, why not?
Well, OnlyFans action there for you?
Yeah.
Okay, well, Jim's glistening was starting to make me feel blind. So, why don't we get into the green and gold blind rankings, guys?
Nice.
So, this is where I present to you guys each week 3 Packers who performed in this Packers game. I was about to say this Sunday's game, but this Thursday night's game. Thursday night's loss to the Lions. And you have to rank them blindly without knowing them in order as good, bad, or meh. Middling, okay, whatever. So, I want to take a little bit of liberty with this one, guys, this week. So, I'm going to give you 3 Packers, and you're going to blind rank them based off how they performed in last night's game. First one, Matt LaFleur.
Meh. I mean, they put up 31, right?
If you're going to talk about, like, I would put Jordan Love in the meh. But who's the good? Jacobs. So Jacobs the definite good. Tucker Kraft would be another one.
Yeah.
Maybe Watson. He had a lot of yards, but he had the fumble, no touchdowns.
That fumble was
devastating fumble.
Yeah. So I would say LaFleur and Love are battling it out for the meh. The bad.
Who's bad?
Hard to say. Nixon, I know he had to pick, but he also kind of got worked a lot. A lot of crying from him. A lot of passes against him.
His OPI.
All right.
I mean, Halfley, if he mentions Halfley, you say bad.
All right, so where are we putting LaFleur?
I think it's meh or bad.
You pick.
You're the homer.
Meh.
Okay.
Meh. Okay. So the next one is defensive coordinator Jeff Halfley. Good, bad, or meh?
Bad.
Bad.
I know they're hurt, but still.
Yeah. They gave up a season high in points. Did you realize that?
I didn't realize it was a season high.
But
34.
also, it just goes back to he's brought in to be different, and at the end of the game, with over 3 minutes to go, Detroit just walked it down the field and got what they needed.
If he has no pass rush and if he can't generate that, it doesn't matter what he's trying to do, I feel like, though.
100%.
At the end of the day.
Yeah.
But is that on
Did
him?
Rashawn Gary play?
No, that's a little on Goody. That's a little on Goody.
Which is funny because the last guy I was going to present to you guys was Brian Gutekunst.
Oh.
So we're saying he was
brought
good.
in Jacobs. He drafted Love.
I'm fine with that.
I don't hate putting him at good. He could have fit in any one of these spots. I don't feel necessarily bad about putting him in the
Can
good
we say he's good when he clearly didn't assemble a roster good enough to beat the Lions?
Here's the issue I
He
would
didn't
have.
assemble a defense good enough to beat the Lions. I think the offense was good enough to do
So
it.
he did half his
Okay,
job.
but if you looked at it, and let's just call the
Pretty
quarterbacks.
meh.
Let's call the quarterbacks a wash because I do think Jordan Love's ceiling's higher than Jared Goff, but I think Jared Goff is a better
playing
quarterback.
better quarterback right now.
Yeah, for the last 2 years. I
Agree.
mean, even though Love had I just mean the totality of the last 2 years.
I'll agree with that.
So, but the rest of it, like the skill positions, right? You have the Lions have better skill position players
On
right?
offense, for
on
sure.
offense. Yeah. The running back room is deeper. Jacobs is the better of all three of those, but Montgomery and Gibbs.
I'll be honest, Jahmyr Gibbs is
He's
really
an impressive
good.
He is,
back.
but he's still not like a bell cow yet. He's still. I would give. Anyways,
He's not as polished as Jacobs is.
But the
at
Lions
this
still
point.
get the positional group that still goes to the
Right.
Lions.
Yes.
Tight end.
I thought
we
I will
wash
say
Kraft?
I do think the wide receivers are better in Detroit, but I thought our wide receivers held their own pretty well yesterday.
Offensive line felt like a stark difference last night.
I mean, granted, there's only 12 catches.
Yeah.
So I guess it's tough to say for
Because
certain.
And I'm not
couldn't
saying
stand
just
the
last
field.
night. I'm just saying as a group in general.
Yeah. No, you're right.
Yeah. Tight end's probably a wash because Laporta.
I'd say it's a wash. Tucker Kraft has really come on this
Yes.
year.
And Laporta was premium last year.
Yeah.
He's kind of up and down this year. So it's a compliment to Kraft to put him in the same category as Laporta because he wasn't there last year.
Yeah, now that they say Laporta's a threat, he's not really a threat.
Well, he's
Now they're
drawing
treating
away.
him like one. Yeah.
So and then defensively, I just call it defensive wash because they're both just beat up on defense.
Yeah.
They're both really beat up. So
Agreed.
to the point, I guess I ideally would have put Goody at meh, but it's fine.
But who gets good then in
I
that
would guess
category?
it would have been LaFleur.
But, I mean,
So I'm fine
yeah,
with this.
the offensive play calling, I guess, was fine.
I thought he was an idiot, Matt.
I was. I'm going to be honest.
You were bucket dumping with Jason. I loved
You
it.
really were.
I
You
kinda,
called into the
well,
postgame
I
show.
still kind of am, man. Like the first half was, what's going on here? And then
What's up with that?
Yeah. Then right out the gate, second half, we get 2 touchdowns within a span of like 4 minutes.
I think Matt's.
He needed to talk it out with everybody in the locker room. Like, I don't know what it is, but it seems like more often than not, if we don't have a good first half, we come out and have a good second half. Why can't he make that same adjustment earlier? That was my only question for Jason, and he called me crazy.
If you need to adjust your jewelry or just want to make sure you're making a good decision, go to Chalmers Jewelers in Madison and in Middleton. They are Madison's custom jeweler. They are Madison's family-owned jeweler. They are Madison's local jeweler. Don't go to a big box store. Go find Chalmers Jewelers, whether it's for an engagement ring, wedding band, custom jewelry, old pieces of jewelry you want to get updated.
A dope Cuban.
A dope Cuban. You want to add on to that, please? Necklace, thank you. All right, this is Jim Matt Nye, presented by Coors Light.
Get ready for the moment we've all been waiting for. It's the 300K season finale giveaway at Potawatomi. Friday, December 20th, watch your entries from Bird Bash, Cash Clash, and Winter Stash. All pile into one massive drawing for a chance at up to 50 grand cash. Be there to win your share. December 20th, only at Potawatomi Casino Hotel, Milwaukee. Learn more at payspig.com/finale. Must be 21 years old to play.
The GRB Rays have established themselves as one of the top baseball programs in the Midwest and the country. GRB Academy offers training programs for players of all ages and skill levels. Learn from some of the best baseball coaches in the area and find the program that fits your training goals and your schedule. Spots are filling up fast, so visit grbacademy.com to sign up now. That's grbacademy.com. GRB Academy, baseball for the serious player.
This is former Wisconsin linebacker Chris Orr. You're listening to 100.5 ESPN, WTLX, Monona, Madison, a Good Karma Brands radio station on Wisconsin.
Broadcasting live from the Everlight Solar Studio, this is your Metro Kia of Madison Sports Center.
Good afternoon, Madison. I'm Ryan Wollersheim, and this is your Sports Center update brought to you by Goodman's Jewelers, the diamond store of Madison for generations. Check them out at 220 State Street and online at goodmansjewelers.com. While the Green Bay Packers falling to the Detroit Lions last night for the second time this season, losing 34-31, this time out in the Motor City. Packers swept by the Lions and are now 6-1 against their NFC North foes in their last 7 meetings. Packers now likely out of the race for the division lead for the end of this season, sitting at 9-4 as the Lions still currently at now 12-1 on the NFL season. Packers likely having to play for the 5 or 6 seed with the wild card heading into the playoffs. Head over to ESPNWisconsin.com for more news, notes, and Packers coverage. And stay tuned right here to Jim, Matt, and Molly as we continue to discuss the Packers' loss to the Lions. And we also might talk some more about the Badgers as they are reportedly targeting their new offensive coordinator, Kansas's Jeff Grimes, to fill the same position left by the firing of Phil Longo earlier this season. Grimes spent the past few seasons with former Wisconsin Whitewater head coach Lance Leipold, who is the head coach of Kansas. And then more Badgers. We got volleyball coming up tonight as they take on the number 7 seed Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets in the NCAA
Metro
tournament.
Kia of Madison, Madison's trusted Kia dealer. Stop into Metro Kia on the east side of Madison or metrokiaofmadison.com.
Everybody's ego takes a shot on this show.
You gotta keep your chill with Jim, Matt, and Molly.
I am savage.
So you're not special.
Jim, if we want to play this game, we can play this game.
And I'm just like, oh my God, this guy's going to swing on Jim. He's a complicated fellow.
People like me.
I don't think so.
This is Jim, Matt, and Molly. Presented by Coors Light on 100.5 ESPN.
We're learning a lot about each other.
It's Murr.
I'm the flower, it's
Mister, when I tease, I like to deliver. Well, don't quote me on that.
Oh, no, it's quoted. That's safe.
Sometimes the tease is better than the delivery.
Where are you going? Where are you putting that $100?
I'd still stick with, I think the Packers are going to win this one. As of right now today, I still have the Packers kind of winning.
You guys heard it? Quip that, please.
But
Riley, quip it.
I might have.
Broadcasting live from the Everlight Solar Studio in downtown Madison. Alongside Matt Hamilton, here's Jim Rutledge.
It is Jim, Matt, and Molly. Molly's out with babies. That's all I'm saying going forward. He's Matt Hamilton. I am Jim Rutledge. Primetime Wollersheim behind the glass. Get into the show, 844-770-3776. Molly will be back. I'm just saying March. I feel like March is a fair. Honestly, for my brain, she couldn't have had the babies at a better time because December 2nd would have been her first work day that she's out. So you go, what? December, January, February. Just be back in March.
Back in March.
That does make it easy, yeah.
Yeah. For my brain, just like me being born in 1980, I can remember my age real easy.
Doesn't quite work for my curling schedule. I should have mentioned that to her. If you're going to have twins, could you hold off until April? But,
Next time in their family planning discussions, you can work it out with her.
It's Molly, at least include me in the discussions.
Right. Exactly.
Thank you.
For my schedule, it would work a lot better.
That's at the doctor meeting in the background. They're like, guys, sorry. We're going to have to push that back.
It's more of hey, we had a nice night out, Matt. Does this work for you 9 months from now, or what are we doing?
Yeah. My summer is very free, so I don't have to worry about curling, Molly, I think. Yeah.
Just only be romantic during the 9 months prior to my curling break. So,
yeah, that's all I'm asking. It's not so much.
There you go.
It's a nice window there, too.
It is. Matt Hamilton, noted romantic. Calls his wife mother.
By accident. Occasionally, very seldomly, but it's not impossible.
You did bring home Ruth's. So there's that too.
Yeah.
All right. We are presented by Coors Light. The mountains are blue. You know what to do.
And that's crush a Coors Light.
We've been talking about it for a while now. Congratulations to the Boca Bowl flyaway winner. Da-da-da. Let's get a little drum roll. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. This person's going to get a trip for two to the Boca Bowl. The flight covered, hotel covered, and they get VIP access to the Boca Bowl, which Zach Wilson once played in one. So there you go. Guard your mouth.
Probably some Coors Light involved in this, too.
Absolutely. Prime, who is the winner?
So the winner of the Boca Bowl flyaway is... Excuse me.
You're excused, my friend.
Thank you, Matt. I appreciate that.
A totally different trip.
Yeah.
Very different trip. That's a little further south. Nathan Delmore was the winner of the Boca Bowl flyaway, guys. Nathan Delmore, you can claim your tickets with us here at ESPN Madison. We'll get you set up for the Boca Bowl December 18th down there in Florida, Jim's old stomping ground. And if you want, we could probably have you call in from the Boca Bowl. We'd love to have you on Jim, Matt, and Molly. Otherwise, enjoy the Coors Lights.
Yeah, and make sure you hit up. There's Duffy's down there, which is a good place to go. A good partner of our friends at ESPN West Palm Beach.
Try and take a picture of some burrowing owls.
There you go. Yeah, good luck finding the burrowing owls. Not very big. They're kind of smaller owls,
but they are there. They didn't just
They
name
are
them
there.
after some random
I will
owl.
tell you this: the campus is beautiful, and you can see the
That's
ocean.
Boca Bowl University.
FAU, Florida Atlantic University in Boca Raton. You can see the ocean from the stadium.
Oh, that'll be cool.
Yes, that probably works out pretty well for recruiting too. I'm going to be there in January, so I'm going to take the fam and show them where I went to college. It's basically, and Whitewater's a nice place, but the trip is really an elaborate way to just dunk on my wife and be like, look where I went to college. Look at all these palm trees. Look how gorgeous it is here. Look at this. This is amazing. Where'd you go to school? Whitewater? No, my parents went to Whitewater. Whitewater's fine. Nothing wrong with Whitewater.
Hey, yeah, there's definitely going to be no gators in the swamp behind your dorm.
True.
Yeah, where you might run into a gator or two down.
Spice of life. Here you get chased by squirrels. I remember that at UW Lacrosse. Like they were like angry squirrels that would chase people once in a while on the way to campus, and down there you get chased by angry crocodiles.
Not the same.
You're right. We're built different.
Yeah.
844-770-3776 is how you get into the show. The injury report, Eric Name says that Doc Rivers says that Giannis will play tonight and is available, and Middleton is probable after bilateral ankle surgery. This is his first appearance after whatever that is.
I will say.
It's where they swap your ankles.
That's
It's like
bilateral.
It's like face off for your ankles.
It's like rotating your tires.
Yeah, exactly. There was a little too much wear on the insides of them, so they just swapped them.
I like the idea of rotating tires. I will say, I do have ESPN on here in the TV in the control room, and I did see Chris Middleton warming up. He didn't have his glisten going yet.
Okay.
So I don't know if he's fully ready to play tonight, Jim.
Okay.
He might. It's still a game time decision, in my opinion.
What was it called again? The surgery? Bilateral.
His glisten surgery.
Bilateral something, because it's gone now.
Oh, you just had it.
It's bilateral ankle surgery.
Bilateral. I like tire rotation.
Tire rotation. Moving the back to the front.
Yeah, Middleton got his tires rotated.
He switched out his wrist ligaments for his ankle ligaments.
Yeah, that's basically what happened with Middleton. He got his tires rotated, and he's finally back.
Gotta take him in for an oil change soon, though, too.
Yeah,
that's why he's sweating so much.
Truth. Puts a lot of effort out there. Look, he's like the old. Once you get that old classic car up and running, it'll look good for like 4 weeks, and then you got to take it back to the shop. Get the tires rotated again.
Yeah, classic El Camino.
All right, 844-770-3776, how you get into the show. The news earlier in the day, it is not official that the Badgers have made this hire, but Pete Thamel from ESPN is reporting that the Wisconsin Badgers are, I guess, in negotiations, targeting Jeff Grimes of Kansas.
Nearing a deal with.
Nearing a deal with Jeff Grimes of Kansas. He is the Kansas offensive coordinator, also listed on their website as assistant head coach. He's an offensive line background and has a running backs coach background, has coached at Baylor and BYU, so he does have the ability, obviously, to take the big shots and make some big plays. Kansas offense, I would say, was explosive. The quarterback, Daniels, was someone that was a bit more up and down, but I think it had a lot to do with injuries, and he's someone that is not in the portal, so we were just fully speculating. But if he brought a guy like Daniels to Wisconsin as part of this deal, even better. but I do think you're going to get a more traditional Wisconsin style offense of him. Could I say this, Ryan? And neither one of us really know that much about it. This gives the vibe off of like just an updated Paul Chryst. Like a guy who understands that how you need to run an offense, run a pro-style, multiple offense at Wisconsin. He's younger, maybe willing to play the game of recruiting more, modernize, do a little bit more modern aspects of the offense, but we're not reinventing the wheel.
When it comes to recruiting, that aspect, the three schools we're mentioning that he's been at, BYU, Baylor, and Kansas, aren't big recruiting schools as far as I know. In fact, they have very unique recruiting styles more than anything. I mean, Baylor is very selective, very Texas-based, like almost exclusively. BYU is its own complete different case because it's it's a Latter-day Saints school, so most 90% of their players are guys who grew up in that background. So they're very exclusive in their recruiting too. And then Kansas just hasn't had much of a recruiting lifeblood the past 10, 15 years.
He's part of the revitalization of Kansas, though, with Lance Heupel.
But a little bit.
I was saying Paul didn't recruit
hopefully
at all.
What he learned.
Well, that's
that's what I was really getting at. Like,
hopefully what he learned in Texas about recruiting heavy in Texas for BYU, he learns like, hey, we need to, as they say, shut our borders down. Keep the Wisconsin recruits in Wisconsin.
That's what Barry Alvarez keeps talking about.
Yeah.
I agree.
I mean, get those corn-fed boys on the O-line and find a running back that can run it.
And that's the other thing is I think that while the recruiting may not be vast on the offense, at least when it comes, like, I don't expect us to get many 4- or 5-star receivers with Jeff Grimes coming here, but he's going to find a way to get the maximum out of the offensive line running game and also some, like, wide receivers who fit and are very effective in the offense.
That's what the Badgers always did the best. They won in the trenches, right? Like, that's where I love position players, and I know that Wisconsin football is not like sexy football, but if you win in the trenches, you got a great shot at winning the game.
Absolutely, and what I was trying to get at with, I don't think this guy's going to be a massive recruiter. I do think, obviously, just having coached at those schools, he's going to have connects to those areas, but it was more the idea that my understanding, this is probably exaggerated, of Paul Chryst was almost a militant. He was not involved in recruiting. I mean, he shut down the social media for the Badgers as far as recruiting in his time here. Their staff was down to bare bones as far as just a general recruiting staff, let alone the NIL side of things. So I just mean that, like, Paul Chryst, as an offensive coordinator in college football during his heyday, was elite. And I think this is a guy that could come in and run just a slightly more modern version of Paul and this offense and be really good at it. And then I love the belief, and I don't know how many schools operate like this, but I know Phil Longo obviously was involved heavily in recruiting. In a perfect world, I want my coordinators to be maybe the closers, and I want them to be the innovators, though, on the offense. I want them worrying about how are these players going to fit my offense? How am I going to run this offense? How am I going to be successful on offense and defense? And let all the positional coaches and the recruiting staff handle the rest of it. That's how I would love a team to be built, because I don't really want the defensive coordinator, offensive coordinator out hustling and bustling.
From what I know is that Fickle also indicated that they're considering strongly bringing in a separate quarterbacks coach, whereas Phil Longo was OC and quarterbacks coach. It could be separate now, where maybe you have a guy focusing on recruiting as a quarterbacks coach. And then I know AJ Blazek, their current offensive line coach, is a really good recruiter for them as well, outside of just his position even.
And that's what and I think as long as you have certain people who are good. I remember when the Badgers had Bob Bostad. He was not a recruiter, but he was a coach. And when guys got here, he wasn't but he wasn't pounding the pavement. He was in at the very end of the process. But what he was a developer. And you can have a mix of recruiters and actual coaches.
And that's what I think Grimes is. I think Grimes is going to be a great developer, and then they have recruiters on the staff. And you can always kind of buy recruiters. And you can buy recruits at the end of the day, right?
True.
That's what it comes down to
you
now.
Can.
Yeah, exactly. So I think we don't need to really even focus that much on the recruiting aspect of candidates anymore, I think.
Can I make a suggestion for quarterbacks coach? And this is just because I know the name.
I think I might know who it is. Former Badger?
Yep.
Scott Tolzien?
Oh, I would love that. I was going to go John Budmeyer, current wide receivers coach at Iowa.
Wasn't he already with Wisconsin before, and then he was fired as part of the Chryst firing?
Yeah, but he was, actually, I don't know if he was fired, because he was here 16 to 17, 18 through 20, and then he was the quarterbacks coach, offensive coordinator at Colorado State in 2021, which is actually probably a it's a promotion for him to go from QB coach to OC. I don't care where you are.
From what I know, he was also the guy who heavily recruited Mertz.
Yeah,
too.
but he was an offensive assistant at Iowa.
Yeah.
He was offensive assistant at Iowa for 2 years, and then last year was their wide receiver, or right now is currently the wide receivers coach.
But do you want the wide receivers coach from Iowa?
I just want someone that maybe, you go back to the idea of trying to get that Wisconsin. I do think positional coaches is where, like Casey Rybach and John Butler, quarterback, like that's where you could find those Wisconsin ties, because they're not heavily influenced in the program, but they then also know what players or what certain things mean to the program. For those who want that, that to me is how you scratch that itch, is just finding some people who have been around. Side note, Gary Anderson's staff, just to point this out, small little thing, featured Chris Beatty and Thomas Brown. Chris Beatty's now the offensive coordinator for the Chicago Bears. Thomas Brown is their head coach. Who would have thought Gary Anderson's staff would have had so many NFL connections? That news popped up the other day. I'm like, Chris Beatty, former wide receivers coach at Wisconsin for a year. Small world. Gary Anderson, Dave Aranda, Thomas Brown.
I know Dave Aranda.
Chris Beatty. All of a sudden,
is Dave Aranda the new DC for the Bears?
He's got a strong coaching tree there.
Better than Chris.
Yes. But yeah, I just love how he brings back the Bears.
I
just found a way to bring the Bears.
I also think
it.
that Gary Anderson gets, as what he did bringing in 3-4 is underappreciated. Like, it was program changing, in my opinion.
Yeah.
For the better?
Yes, way better.
Defense was pretty dang good over the last 10 years.
Yeah.
Under Leonard and Aranda. And then there was actually there was a guy from Cal for a year or two, too. I forget his name. But he ended up getting a job as, I think, the head coach at Cal. I met him, too.
And you don't remember his name?
No, because Dave Aranda, then I went to this guy at Cal, and then I went to Jim Leonard.
The guy at Cal. He's the guy at Cal.
Cool.
Why
beans.
don't you know it? You're a college football guy.
I would have been 15 at the time, probably. Less than that.
Prime nerd out, sort of, know the Badgers defensive coordinator.
Yeah. I don't remember
Ryan.
anyone between Aranda and Leonard.
No one's asking me to know that.
Justin Wilcox, Hunter Vaughn chimed in with
Justin
it.
Wilcox. I do know his name. Okay. All right. Well, I recognize him now because he's the coach of Cal. He's the Cal guy. I know him as the Cal guy.
I had a couple Coors Light pops with him with
Coors Light pops.
Coors Light, like pops of Coors Light.
No, I know.
Yeah, with Tarek and Derek at a bar down in Madison with Justin. Nice guy.
I thought you were like interviewing him. And he's like, "Yeah, we popped some Coors Lights. We had a good time."
That's how you execute a good interview.
That's true.
Yeah, get them comfortable.
Tarek and Derek were hanging out with them after a show I did with them, and I got to hang out with the defense coordinator. Nice guy.
Nice.
Yeah.
That is neat.
There you go.
That is neat.
The more you know. This is Jim, Matt, and Molly, presented by Coors Light.
You're listening to Jim, Matt, and Molly, presented by Coors Light. Also brought to you by J&K Security Solutions, securing homes and businesses in the Madison area since 1987.
Kick off your weekend with the best Phish Friday in Madison at Off-Broadway Draft House. Serving all day on Friday starting at 11 a.m., you can enjoy cod, bluegill, perch, and walleye. Wash it all down with an Off-Broadway Draft House old-fashioned, or try any of our rotating seasonal tap beers or specialty cocktails. Off-Broadway Draft House, Madison's People's Choice winners for favorite bar, wait staff, and more. Off-Broadway Draft House. Come for the beer. Stay for the food.
This is a test. This station is conducting a test of the emergency alert system. This station has conducted a test of the emergency alert system.
Madison Weight Loss is having a huge holiday sale, almost 20% off, making it our lowest prices of the year. You can start the program before, during, or after the holidays. We know the secret to losing up to 1 pound of fat every day with no prepackaged meals, no injections or surgery. The secret is our program helps reset your metabolism so you can keep the weight off for good. To learn how our clients on average lowered their metabolic age by 17 years, go to MadisonWeightLoss.com now to schedule your free consultation and learn why your metabolism may be sabotaging your weight loss goals. Go to MadisonWeightLoss.com and save big now only through December 31st.
Hey, it's Jesse Nelson. The program with Madison Weight Loss was perfect for me to lose 40 pounds. Trust me, Madison Weight Loss is the real deal. And take advantage of the huge holiday sale with the lowest prices of the year now through December 31st. You can start the program now or after the holidays, but you need to call now to lock in the huge discount. Go to MadisonWeightLoss.com now to schedule your free consultation. That's MadisonWeightLoss.com. Results may vary.
Zimbrick Honda has been a proud part of the Madison community since 1973, and they're your one-stop shop for over 250 new Hondas to choose from. Whether it's the sedan, SUV, or truck, their selection of new vehicles is second to none and has exactly what you're looking for. Stop in today at their location on Fish Hatchery Road and check out the all-new 2024 Honda Prologue, Honda's first all-electric SUV, or browse their selection online at ZimbrickHonda.com. That's ZimbrickHonda.com. Shop local. Shop Zimbrick Honda.
Hi, Drew and Jonathan Scott here, reminding you that American Family Insurance agents can help build a customized renter's policy so you can protect stuff like this, or this, or even this. Well, case in point. Life's better when you're under American Family's roof. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. American Family Mutual Insurance Company SI and its operating company 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Want to join the fastest growing home solar company in the nation and work in the fastest growing industry in the world? Everlight Solar has open positions in the Madison area and in their newly open Milwaukee location. As Wisconsin's largest home solar company, Everlight Solar offers great opportunities to gain new skills and advance your career. Don't miss the chance to join the Everlight Solar team. Visit everlightsolar.com to apply today. Save money, save the planet, and start with Everlight Solar.
Time now for a special ESPN Wisconsin presentation.
When I see the connection, though I see, I don't stare.
I blame whatever happened there on Matt Hamilton.
I don't stare.
Right now. But I'm going to tell you about the Bruce Company. Go out there for holiday season, and you can see the folks in Middleton at the Bruce Company. You go see Mr. and Mrs. Claus. The horses go Icelandic horses. Yeah! Snowy Owl, and they just have general festive vibes over at the Bruce Company. You can get some great things for decorating your house for the holiday season at Bruce Company. And again, taking the festivities on the weekends at the Bruce Company, getting that holiday feeling over at the Bruce Company in Middleton. He's Matt Hamilton. I am Jim Rutledge. We are live from the Everlight Solar studio. What did you break back there? We got two people back there right now.
I literally went in there to say, "Hey Ryan, you're crushing it today," and yeah, exactly. Something immediately went off the rails. So I definitely.
I mean, I like our show.
I just need you guys to keep on talking for a little while.
Yeah, I like our show, but we are not a special presentation. Honestly, when I heard that, I'm like, wait, it's like one of those.
I got some news for you, Jim.
Well, it was more of like, this is an emergency broadcast. Yeah. I thought the aliens were coming when I first heard that voice just pop in out of the blue sky.
That was my problem. I made Ryan my guy, and the jinx just happened faster than it usually does.
Yeah, that is true.
It was like instantaneous karma.
I will share that the news of the day is that the Badgers are efforting or getting close to signing Jeff Grimes as their offensive coordinator at Kansas. Kansas ranked 6th in EPA per rush in college football, 21st in EPA per dropback.
What does EPA stand for people that might not know that are listening?
And 8th in EPA per play. It's expected something like average. So basically, obviously, like anything else you want to be. It's the idea of how are you ranking as opposed to what you would do against what a normal team would do, and then how do you do against it? Are you going above and beyond what is expected out of a normal play in this situation, or are you doing below average in this? And it seems like he's above average.
I'll make sure my friend knows exactly what that meant. So thanks for answering that for him.
I'm only half. Ryan's fixing stuff back there because he's the one that would really be able to answer that question.
Heard of BPA.
He wears glasses every day. I only wear glasses once in a while, so I can understand why you asked me that question because I'm wearing glasses today. And so you might think that you can't type in EPA meeting on Google because then you're going to get the environmental protection agency.
So annoying, right?
Yeah. So but 844-770-3776 is how you get into this show. There you go. See, I was not even really close. Expected points added, a metric used in American football to measure the value of a play and a team's likelihood to score. It's a relatively new metric that's become more important in handicapping NFL games.
Yeah, see, I'm pretty sure I knew that, but I just didn't.
EPA is calculated by. Here, we can get full into it now.
Yeah.
EPA is calculated by subtracting the expected points, the EP, of 2 consecutive plays.
By the A. Yeah. Okay. We can move on. We get it. It's the expected points per play. Have fun.
This is really trying to ruin sports, aren't they, right now?
Yeah. Just nerding out over it. I am curious if anyone has any thoughts on Grimes coming in.
Yeah, 844-770-3776. You can chime in on that. We did have Ryan, the Psychedelic Advisor, chime in earlier that basically your line of questioning with Wilde turned into you're just mad about your fantasy team. And then also Matt in the greenhouse said Matt is just excited to be the only child on the show again. He seems a little too happy that Molly's going to be out.
All eyes on me.
844-770-3776. Is the computer still broken? Or how are we doing here?
Computer might be fixed. I'll have to talk to Jesse Nelson about this later. I'm sure he'll have no answers for me. But
well, I'm sure it's your fault, not his.
It might be, but it's also his for not doing his job earlier. Anyways.
Zing! I like it.
Well, sorry to go in and offer a high five and
that was the worst possible time.
Oh my gosh! I went in and I literally felt like he was upset with me because he wouldn't even acknowledge that I entered the room.
And you got to be Matt Hamilton who feels like someone's upset with him is even a more annoying Matt Hamilton.
Yeah, I'm a golden retriever.
Yeah, did you nudge him with your nose?
That's how I got his hand to pay attention to me.
You said, just rubbing your nose on his
hand.
And
I just pushed him away and told him to get out of the room. You need to leave.
That's right. I marked my corner.
Can we play Don't Quote Me?
Let's do it next segment.
Alrighty.
Let's get things a little bit sorted and then we'll come back with Don't Quote Me.
So then no pole dancing either?
We can do pole dancing last segment, so we got time.
All right.
But can you tell us about the Brews Company?
I did.
He already told us about the
I tuned it out.
Here's the thing. He said Icelandic horses. I thought that's what distracted you.
Brews Company
Icelandic
is awesome.
horses is what got me?
Yeah.
I mean.
Isn't that what you're most excited for?
Mr. and Mrs. Claus. I mean, be honest, aren't we all?
I mean.
What's on your Christmas list?
Socks.
Socks for sure. Yes.
Always socks.
Always socks.
What are those, was there like a fancy internet sock? Like starts with a B?
Bamba.
There you go.
Yeah. I think they donate a sock for every sock they sell.
So here's a funny story.
That's nice.
I never heard of this place in my entire life. And we were in Dubuque, Iowa last year, 2 years ago. And like my youngest, because she has like an allowance, she doesn't have a job. Or my oldest, excuse me, neither one of them have jobs. So they like to go thrift shopping. So we stopped because you can get
What do they do around the house for that allowance? Anything?
Themselves. Yeah, not really.
They don't like pick up your room and you get an allowance?
My room?
No, not your room, but their room or...
It's more of like, they have like daily chores. They're like minor chores. Like, I wish they would take my chores away from me.
Well,
like, I thought that's the point of having kids.
Give me an example of one
like, wipe
chore.
down, like we have white paddle switches for the outlets. So Rosie will have to go wipe all those down.
Oh, okay. With a little Clorox wipe or something?
Yep. Clean the countertops, clean the sink, different things.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay. I mean,
put up a barn, whatever.
I had a chore list too, so I was just curious what's on.
This is a little bit of. I want the dishes off my chore list, and it has not happened yet. So yeah, because it's like.
Here's the thing. The thing with dishes is, like, for me, I'm a little particular. Working in a kitchen and having to go through food safe classes, I'm pretty particular when it comes to how dishes are done. My wife doesn't always get everything clean, so I don't really want to ask anyone else to do the dishes, because if we ever have guests over and I pull out a plate and there's like, leftover egg yolk or something on it, that which is it turns to glue. It's impossible to get off if you let it dry.
Yep.
So Jen doesn't really get to do dishes.
So long story short, I got some of those donated socks because we were at like a thrift store, like
and you got some Bombas.
And they're like, we bought some stuff. And
they're
like,
nice.
oh, everyone that buys them gets some socks. And I'm like, because they were like out, like loose socks. They're like, no, we just get these from this place, and like they were behind the counter. Because I was like, what is it? I don't want old. I don't need socks. And they're like, no, these are not. But I was like, no, those are Bomba socks.
Yeah,
like,
Bombas are real, dude.
I will say this so far, the best thing about them, I had plenty of socks that fit very nicely. They stay. Like they hold their the elastic doesn't fall on them. That's the biggest difference I've noticed so far. This is Jim, Matt, and Molly, presented by Coors Light.
You're listening to Jim, Matt, and Molly, presented by Coors Light on 100.5 ESPN, ESPN Madison on YouTube, and Wisconsin On Demand.
If you're looking for a special piece of jewelry for any occasion, Condon Jewelers is always there for you. Condon Jewelers has the best selection of jewelry you'll ever find and guaranteed to have the lowest prices in the Madison area. Free shipping is always available. Visit CondonJeweler.com or call 241-3406 and ask for Jim, the owner, who's at the store every day. Shop locally. Condon Jewelers, the jeweler on the east side, the jeweler on your side.
Ho, ho!
Oh, my back.
Santa?
Gina Dello from Pella. You've been a good girl this year.
Is that why you're in here building new windows?
Santa's doing OT.
Let me make a call.
Frighteningly fast Pella team at your service. Let us take it from here, Mr. Claus. And Gina, next time.
I know. Ask for a Pella gift card. Right now at Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, get as low as $19 per window and $81 per patio door per month.
PellaWI.com. Certain restrictions apply. Ends 12/31/2024.
Unwrap exceptional offers during the Season of Audi sales event. Get financing as low as 1.9% APR on select new 2024 Audi models. Save $7,500 on select Audi EVs with the AFS EV lease bonus and an additional $1,500 with the Season of Audi customer credit. Offer subject to credit approval through Audi Financial Services. See dealer for details. Offer ends January 2nd. You'll find an excellent selection of new and certified pre-owned Audis at Audi Madison. Check out AudiMadison.com or stop in and test drive at Audi Madison today. Off the Beltline and Rimrock Road.
When it comes to security for your home and family, you want a winner, and we found one when we placed our trust with J&K Security Solutions. This is Greg Gard. Kim and Jeff hit the game-winning shot for us with the Control 4 home technology system. Home or away, from our smartphones, we can open the garage door, dim the lights, turn on the TV, as well as arm the security system. That's convenience as well as peace of mind. Let J&K Security Solutions do for your home or business like they've done for us. Call 255-5799 or online at jksecurity.com.
Every day, Wisconsin's 600,000 family caregivers help their loved ones to continue living safely in their own homes. It's not easy. Each year, they spend an average of $7,000 out of their own pockets to provide this care. Wisconsin needs family caregivers, and they need more support. Tell your state lawmakers, Wisconsin family caregivers need a caregiver tax credit in 2025. Learn more at aarp.org/WI. That's aarp.org/WI. Paid for by AARP Wisconsin.
ESPN Madison is on Wisconsin sports. Catch what you missed on the Varsity Podcast on Wisconsin On Demand, brought to you by Game Day Men's Health Middleton. Keep your performance up and on track in all areas of your life with Game Day Men's Health. Check them out at GameDayMen'sHealth.com/Middleton.
Coors Light presents To Chill or Not to Chill. When your friend skips your favorite song on the playlist. End the friendship. Or choose chill, because that song lives rent-free in your head anyway. And you planned ahead by bringing Coors Light to the party. And the sound of that ice-cold can cracking open was music to your ears already. Coors Light. Choose chill. Celebrate responsibly. 2024 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
From your best friend who lives on caffeine to your teenager who always forgets to fill up their tank, Quick Trip gift cards are the ultimate holiday hack for everyone on your list. Pick one up in-store or online, and they'll have everything they need. Coffee, snacks, groceries, fuel, and more. All with one thoughtful gift. And honestly, who has time for complicated gift shopping? We know you don't. Give the gift that keeps life moving. Holiday gift cards from Quick Trip.
Hi, I'm Madison Money Guy, Christian Finfrock with Retirement Income Strategies. And what sets us apart is we're an independent, family-run office. We help clients like you understand the financial world and build a portfolio that's in your best interest. To learn more, go to MadisonMoneyGuy.com.
Welcome back to Jim, Matt, and Molly, presented by Coors Light on 100.5 ESPN. Also brought to you by J&K Security Solutions.
It is Jim, Matt, and Molly. We are presented by Coors Light. The mountains are blue. You know what to do.
That's the third time today.
You are having a tough time.
Well, that's because I'm just thinking about crushing a Coors Light later. I'm so excited.
The mountains are blue. You know what to do.
And that's crush a Coors Light.
Get into the show, 844-770-3776.
Molly not here because she just had twins? I nailed it
she-
for you. Took a little load off you.
I don't have to do it every time. But okay, that's fine. You can go ahead. Are we, does the computer work again?
It does, now that Jesse Nelson texted me.
All righty. Don't quote me.
We're not saying it's gonna happen.
Let it ride. I like
but
this
if it
tea.
does, then we want
Is that what
credit.
they call it, gossip? It's not really gossip. It's just happening in front of us.
I told you all.
If not,
Well,
Don't quote me, boy, because I ain't said.
Yes, this is a special presentation of ESPN Wisconsin brought to you by Jesse Nelson. All right. So, guys, it is time to Don't Quote Me review as we made some long shot predictions for the Packers versus Lions game last night. Packers lost 34-31, and there's somebody who was on the panel yesterday who, despite just giving birth, showed up and made the prediction that the Packers would not only win by 2+ touchdowns, but Josh Jacobs would also score 2 touchdowns.
Wrong on both accounts.
Well, I don't know. I mean, it's not that close, I guess.
It's not.
I mean,
the Josh Jacobs one looked really good for a minute there.
Yeah, but the whole point of these is the duel.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah. It's parlay.
I mean, out of today, she might be the closest, but
out of today, yeah. All right, so
actually, you were probably the closest. We'll get to yours in a minute.
We'll get to that. Yeah. So then the next person predicted that Jordan Love would throw for 275 yards, 4 touchdowns, 0 picks. Somebody want to claim that prediction?
Yeah, close.
I mean, he had 1 touchdown.
And he was 75 yards short, basically?
Yeah, 70.
Okay, and 3 touchdowns.
69,
well,
actually.
I mean, it depends. He might have just kind of lobbed him to
69. I like
to Josh Jacobs. No. Got a little air in there.
Well, he had an opportunity to do that, and he missed Kraft. So.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah,
not just missed him, dude. It looked
like
he was throwing it out.
Well, and
like the play was busted. And he's just getting rid of it. That was a terrible throw.
And I don't think you're asking a lot out of Jordan Love.
That was a timing throw.
Well,
though,
not
right?
that
yes.
one.
Tucker just probably didn't get off the line as quickly as he should have.
I think Love just overthrew him. He just overthrew him.
And then the other part would be, and I see Packer fans.
Tucker Kraft just needs to finish his route.
What about when Jordan Love ran for it on 3rd down when there was a wide open receiver in the end zone? When they kicked the field goal.
Well, he was under pressure, and if he didn't run out, that's the problem.
I'm not but that's and a lot of Packer fans are pointing out like, we could have had. It wasn't even ripping Jordan Love. It's classic like we could have scored.
Well, then you should blame the offensive line for not pass blocking well enough. That's the real thing.
Yeah, I'm not.
I agree
for
with
it,
you.
but I did see that one as
well.
The
screenshot mafia on Twitter is so annoying.
Oh, dude. Yeah. Well, I mean, it worked in the Packers' favor. There's a lot of screenshots about the penalties.
Oh,
and there's
for sure.
My gosh, yeah. Like Jordan Love got clipped in the helmet.
Here's the screenshots. Like
they missed that. Yeah,
they did, but like if you watch it live, it does not look anywhere close to as bad as it does in the frozen screenshot.
And that one in particular did look a little egregious.
No, the egregious one would have been the helmet off of the lineman. That was because otherwise he just got bumped.
It was Xavier McKinney that had his helmet taken off.
That one was worse because that's a bang play where the refs doesn't have good angle and he just kind of grazes the front of Jordan Love's helmet as opposed to like
grazes. I'm surprised he's not concussed.
The McKinney one is fully egregious.
Yeah,
like he knocked his helmet off, and we're not calling hands to the face here.
Also, just a side note: is Wicks on the concussion protocol?
He got up, and it didn't seem like he
didn't get up
down
quickly.
No,
he didn't.
Like I was like, they just like.
And it looked like he was avoiding the medical staff on the sideline.
So this happened with the Bears with Jaquan Brisker. He got hurt. I mean, in the game, he stayed in the game, and then he was out for 4 weeks afterwards with concussion protocol. So I wouldn't be surprised if Wicks is on the injury report with concussion. Because that was a hard hit.
Yeah,
I believe he came back
shoulder
in the game.
to shoulder.
Oh, it was his head hitting the ground.
It was,
the hard part.
Totally.
Yes.
But that was a perfectly legal
but that
tough
just looked
hit.
like a concussion of like that. Boom.
Now is that on like Love for leading him into a defender?
No,
because
like it was when he got tackled, his head just kind of whipped.
Right, but like
he
had
avoided
like a step.
He avoided a defender and then cut up field and then took the hit.
Yeah, that was
that was not on Jordan Love. That wasn't a hospital pass. If that's what you're implying.
Yeah, well, I'm not implying. I was asking if it was.
No, it wasn't. It was a great play by Wicks, and he took a hard hit. It happens.
Yeah, it does. This is football, baby.
Yeah, and speaking of this is football, sometimes you score a lot of touchdowns, but you don't get as many yards as some people might expect. Josh Jacobs to outgain Jordan Love in total yards was somebody's prediction here.
Yeah, for a while, I was pacing well on that too because Jordan Love.
First half, he had it.
Yeah, should have gone carries over attempts or completions.
Oh yeah, honestly. Well, I don't think Josh Jacobs even had that many carries at the end of the day either.
But it was 12. I don't know. I mean, I don't know what his number was.
Oh, completions.
Completions over.
Yeah, that would have been.
Well, whatever.
That would have been a don't quote me in that case. So.
He had 18 carries.
18 carries.
So he would have topped the completions.
Yeah.
It's not a full-on. It is a little bit surprising.
And he didn't catch a ball after getting 75 yards
That's true.
4 receptions last week against the Dolphins.
I mean, the Packers
he didn't even get targeted.
The Packers only ran 45 plays. There wasn't enough plays to get these guys all their touches. It's part of it, too.
It was a weird game. I mean, man, that game, thank goodness for both those teams. They don't have to play till, next Sunday.
Yeah.
They got beat up.
They need a break.
Yeah.
And like you said, the first half was a little choppy. Second half went as I expected it to, because I predicted that the Packers versus Lions game on Thursday Night Football would set the record for the NFL's highest-scoring game this season. That was previously set by the Bengals and Steelers this past Sunday when they scored a combined 82 points in that game. Packers-Lions finished 34-31, 65 points.
So 22 points short?
22. Be 18 points.
18 points.
That's still the closest, don't quote me.
Honestly, if they did not get out to the slow start, and if, as Jason Wilde mentioned, if the Packers didn't have 3 punts on their first 3 drives.
Jason Wilde mentioned, wasn't that my whole take? Was that the Packers started slow and it took a while to adjust?
You guys both mentioned it. You guys both had keen eyes on the game, Matt.
I did have keen eyes on it. And it wasn't on the Farmer 5. I went and found the game.
Well done.
Yeah.
Because it's on Amazon, so you wouldn't have been able to get on the Farmer 5.
Well, I mean, I did watch the first half at my local watering hole.
I feel like I was very much in the correct spirit of my prediction. I didn't feel like I was that far off by the end of the game. I was like, if this goes to overtime, I might have a chance.
Yeah, you were, I would say. Because my spirit was that Josh Jacobs was going to go off. I honestly thought like
3 touchdowns is going off, though.
But I mean, for yardage.
I know.
And then Molly's
overtime
spirit.
Molly's
spirit
16
wasn't close.
points.
No. Molly's spirit was not.
Max.
Matt and Molly's spirit was not close. You guys were expecting butt kickings.
I was expecting a little more high-flying offense.
And you were expecting Jordan Love to
was
play
going to
like
have like 25. I thought he was going to go 25 for 30.
You thought he was going to play like the guy who's getting paid $55 million.
Do you not think he played like the guy who's getting paid $55 million in the second half?
I literally just read an article. Second half, but I read an article on Sports Illustrated that even the way that they're doing the offense right now, it is they're handicap. Like you have Jacobs, but they are purposely handicapping the offense because they don't want Jordan Love.
It's not handicapping the offense when running the ball is the most efficient and effective thing you can do.
When you're paid, like the expectations are different when you're getting paid $55 million. He played fine. He didn't play bad, but he was not the best quarterback.
Well.
He was not the best quarterback. Jared Goff played well from the start of that game to the end of that game and had one mistake, completed 75% of his passes, 3 touchdowns.
Jordan Love was the second best quarterback on the field yesterday.
Fine, but I still think they were both good. They were both well above average.
I don't know. I'm not going to go well above for Jordan Love.
Okay.
No, he was
fine.
Okay.
844-770-3776. We got pole dancing coming up next.
Woo!
You're listening live from St. John's, Newfoundland. The Newfies love Jim, Matt, and Molly. 100.5 ESPN Madison.
Hi, Dave from Canopy Wealth Management here. Our balanced approach helps guide you through a complex and ever-changing landscape. Throughout your family's financial planning journey, we will serve as a partner, advocate, and steward in all aspects to help you achieve your goals with confidence. At Canopy, care, competence, and clarity, it's not just a tagline, it's a promise. Go to canopy-wealth.com to get started today. That's canopy-wealth.com.
Your Honda gets you everywhere. When it needs service, you need Zimbrick Honda service. Their customer service is second to none, and you can experience it for yourself at 2 convenient Madison service locations on Fish Hatchery Road and Grand Canyon Drive. From simple maintenance to expert repairs, Honda certified technicians handle it all. Stop in for an express oil change at Fish Hatchery Road on Saturdays. No appointment necessary. Part of the Madison community since 1973. Shop local. Shop Zimbrick Honda.
LabCorp Clinical Trials is changing to a new name, Fortrea. While the name may be different, Fortrea combines decades of great experience and professionalism with new opportunities for clinical trial participation. It's more than a mission and more than a new name. Fortrea is dedicated to moving healthcare forward. To learn more about the future of healthcare and upcoming clinical trials, visit us at FortreaClinicalTrials.com. That's FORTREA clinicaltrials.com.
Searching for the perfect brunch spot this weekend? Look no further than the Great Dane Pub and Brewing Company. Every Saturday and Sunday from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m., indulge in the Great Dane sweet and savory brunch menu paired with mimosas, Bloody Marys, or one of their signature beers on tap. Enjoy at any of their 4 Madison area pubs, downtown, Hilldale, Fitchburg, or East Madison. Learn more and view the full menu at GreatDanePub.com/brunch. Great Dane Pub and Brewing Company, Madison's original brew pub since 1994.
Mark your calendars. Professional volleyball is coming to Madison with First Serve on January 17th. Led by Madison's newest pro team, Love Madison Volleyball. Get ready for non-stop action as some of the world's best players take the court. Featuring Olympic medalists Lauren Carlini and Annie Drew Schumacher, Love Madison is ready to compete for the season's first championship title. Get your tickets now for this historic first season. Visit lovb.com today. Volleyball is the next major league.
Prairie Athletic Club is the ultimate destination for health, wellness, and crushing your goals. This is Sarah Tauscher. Say goodbye to post-workout aches and pains at the Pack's new Recovery Zone. With their assisted stretch and pneumatic boot sessions, you can get instant results, leaving you feeling refreshed and ready to tackle your next workout. Don't believe it works? Give it a try. Stop in, stretch your body, and relax your mind at the Pack. Visit prairieathletic.com to learn more. Prairie Athletic Club, family, fun, community.
Kringle, all I want for Christmas is you.
Dad!
What?
We talked about this. Yeah, your jingle for your Kringle entry last year was so lame that Racine Danish Kringle banned you from their contest.
I thought it was only a one holiday season ban.
It was a lifetime ban.
Well, I guess I'm out, but here's how you can enter our ESPN Wisconsin Racine Danish Kringle Jingle for Your Kringle contest on Wilde and Tausch. Submit your own original jingle to ESPNWisconsinContest.com. Then we'll pick the most creative songs, and our grand prize winner will get Kringle for a year. Make sure you include Racine Danish Kringle. It's not just a treat, it's a tradition in your jingle. If you don't want to sing, but you still want to celebrate the holidays with Racine Danish Kringle, call 800-4DANISH or visit Kringle.com and order their all-new Eggnog Holiday Kringle.
Racine Danish Kringle, such a tasty, yummy treat with a flaky crust and sweet icing. It's the best thing you can eat.
Oh, like that's so much better than mine.
Well, at least we're not off key.
Phish Friday on Jim, Matt, and Molly is brought to you by Off-Broadway Draft House. Enjoy a traditional Friday fish fry at Madison's favorite neighborhood gathering spot, Off-Broadway Draft House.
They dance above me as I sing. I see them through a crystal haze.
Don't forget, during this holiday season, to set yourself up for success going into 2025. You can talk to Dr. Ness Rodriguez and Ashley over at Carbon World Health. You can ask them about semaglutide. You can ask them about hormone optimization. You can ask them about Botox. You can ask them about cryotherapy, red light therapy, and you also can work out at Carbon World Health on Whitney Way and the new one in Sun Prairie. CarbonWorldHealth.com is the website. He's Matt Hamilton. I am Jim Rutledge. It is that music means it's Phish Friday, and it also means on a Friday we go pole dancing.
We asked and you answered.
What?
Coming to the stage, it's pole dancing on Jim, Matt, and Molly.
Hey now.
Presented by Metro Kia of Madison, Madison's trusted Kia dealership.
Yeah, guys, as Jim said, when it's a Phish Friday, we go pole dancing to end the show. And that's where we review the polls from this week around ESPN Wisconsin. And guys, weird week this week because we had Thursday Night Football, so I don't want to read anything from before the last 24 hours. And I'm going to start from Green Bay game night. Over at ESPN Milwaukee, they polled this question. Did the Packers get robbed by the officials tonight in their 34-31 loss to the Lions? 57% of fans said yes, 43% said no. Matt Hamilton, you're the green and gold homer. What do you say?
I don't think robbed is the right word. I would have trouble choosing my pick here. I do think there were some missed calls, and I think the Packers might have had more missed calls than the Lions, but I also feel like the Packers benefit from that when they're the home team. So I'm going to say no. I don't think they were robbed, but there were a couple calls I think would have been made at Lambeau that weren't made here.
Do you really think that's a thing, though? Like home field advantage when it comes to refs like that in the NFL
Look at
nowadays?
the Chiefs.
Well,
okay. I'm not. Matt had me for a
when
minute.
the NFL wants you to win, it's different.
Matt had me for a minute, then he went insane.
Went
cue him at.
The main part of it, the bulk of what I said, I know you would agree with.
Yes, and honestly, I think more on the idea of the calls. It's just refs are human beings, and it's just sometimes easier to make a call. The Christian Watson pick play. You could call a pick play, and Matt LaFleur even kind of said this. You could call a pick play on every single play right now on offense. Packers are great at running pick plays, and so they get away, like most teams, with 90% of them. That happened to the Bears against the Lions on Thanksgiving. Same thing in a fourth quarter play. The Cole Kmet got, and he knocked the guy down and didn't get out of the guy's way, and they called it in almost the exact same situation. If the guy gets knocked down, it's going to get called. The Lions had the holding call against the Lions player was as equally questionable that set them up at 2nd and 20. So did the Packers get calls to help them win? No. But I'm proud of Matt because to me, watching the game, I just thought it was normal. Like, yeah, not everything went your way. But after
you had to overcome it. It didn't derail you.
Well, and look, you're able to, like, I was at the Bear-Pack game. I was all upset. I thought Christian Watson didn't catch it. I was at the game. I didn't get the analyst. I just saw the video, looked at the ball bounce. Ryan explained, and then I watched the game later. I was like, okay, I get it. Never mind. I didn't get robbed. It was just, it is what it is.
And I think for, even as Wisconsin Packers fans, like, emotional after the game, only 57% saying yes. I feel like handicapping it, if most of those people answered 12 hours later, a lot of them would have said no as well.
I'm guessing Tauscher felt that because I think he put it out on his own.
He didn't feel that. He asked because that's what that was the feedback he was getting on social media.
Well,
so he wanted to know.
Twitter is a dumpster fire of the worst people, the
You're
most
right.
aggrieved people, and that's what those have
but
going on Twitter.
But he wanted to understand how Packers fans were feeling, so that's why they pulled the question.
Yes.
So, Wilde and Tausch also had a preemptive poll after last night's loss. Would you rather play football with Lions coach Dan Campbell or Packers coach Matt LaFleur as your head coach? 67% of Wilde and Tausch respondents saying Matt LaFleur, 33% saying Dan Campbell. Jim Rutledge, you're not a fan of either team.
So I'm surprised. Like, I get it because it's your team, but the Lions' identity is what Packer fans want their team to be. Most teams want their team to be. They have explosive offense, tough as nails. Coach is a badass. Like, that's big. That's Big Ten football. That's NFC North football. That's Green Bay Packers football. And realistically, if the Packers' offense looked as good as the Lions' offense, run by Jared Goff and not Jordan Love, I would give the play caller the nod to that one with Ben Johnson. They'd be winning more games. So I would say the correct answer is Dan Campbell, but I don't fault Matt LaFleur. Matt LaFleur is a great coach.
I basically, if I played football, I'd be on offense, and Matt LaFleur is an offensive guy. I'd go with Matt LaFleur.
Dan Campbell is an offensive. He played tight end in the NFL. He just is big.
He's not a play caller, though. It's
Right.
different when LaFleur's the play caller and
True.
he's the schemer of the offense.
Yes.
I think I'd go Matt LaFleur. Definitely a homer side to that, but I also think...
Can I ask you just a quick follow-up on it?
Go for it.
With the play caller part of it, do you think Ben Johnson, because he doesn't have to coach, is a better play caller than Matt LaFleur right now?
There's definitely aspects of that. I think Kyle Shanahan would be a better play caller if he didn't have to be the head coach of the 49ers. I think there's a lot of play callers like that.
Yeah,
Matt LaFleur probably the same, honestly.
And I think there's a lot of play callers that get put in that head coach role and aren't even a shell of what they used to be as just play callers. I think Matt LaFleur is one of those special offensive guys that is able to manage the entire team as well as call good plays and make adjustments.
Yeah, like Shanahan and McVay, LaFleur, Reed. Yeah, but those are still, like, that's what you want. That's the unicorn.
That's the archetype of a head
I wouldn't
coach.
say unicorn.
Mike McCarthy.
Mike McCarthy's got a Super Bowl. I'm not dunking on Mike McCarthy.
I'll dunk on Mike
He's
McCarthy.
not a bad head coach.
He's not a bad head coach.
Let's stay on the air for another 10 minutes and we'll Mike McCarthy this.
He's still done more in Green Bay than Matt LaFleur has done. Right?
Yeah, fair.
All right. Go be a winner. Go to Ho Chunk Gaming Madison. That's where winners go. I know you are. Don't be a hater. Go to Ho Chunk Gaming Madison. Go be a winner.
See ya.
Since J&K Solutions opened in 1987, our attention to detail and customer service